go.
After it's all said and done, you're gonna be taking freedom out of your fat asses all night long because you got fat asses. The only one chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, is you can run lickety split. But you can't run because you're fat asses. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the years of line. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Army tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Bowl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane, I say thank you very much!
Make a good lucha thing.
I hate God! Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the style and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
All right, enough of that. What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. It is Dirt Sheet Dudes. I am Boxman. How is everyone doing tonight? And, of course, always right across from me, sitting there riding shotgun, is Mr. Wahlberg. Smark, my man, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am well. How are you?
I wish my TV was out tonight. There's too much wrestling, dude. I'm fucking beat. That's what I am.
Yep.
I've been beaten to submission by wrestling. I mean, from SummerSlam to Takeover to... all right, I didn't watch all of Raw. Y'all know I didn't, but I watched enough. Raw, NXT...
It's sort of just an encompassing statement of like, I've watched enough. It's been several decades. I just can't.
Look, I saw Karrion Kross. I saw a couple more things. We'll get into what we need to. Let's put it that way. I saw Kross. I saw the Dewdrop Eva thing. I saw the Ms. Morrison thing. I mean, what else is there to get into?
Mm-hmm.
What? Charlotte Alexa Bliss? You want to get into that too? No? Nah, me neither. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. Fucking 7'8" Charlotte against 4'2" Alexa Bliss. Wee-hoo!
Yes, but one of them has magical powers, so it kind of offsets the disadvantage.
Ah, she does have that voodoo that she do. You are correct, sir. You are correct. I guess let's go ahead and knock these plugs out, Smark. What do you say real quick?
You got it.
All right, let's do that so we can get right into everything because, like I said, we've got like 5 fucking shows to talk about. What I'd like to do is get into I want to spend as little time as possible on the shows that happen over the weekend, and then we can talk a little Raw, a little NXT, and then get into news, and then we'll wrap up with AEW. Sound like a plan, Smart?
Sounds good.
All right. As little time as possible from over the weekend. That was more of a reminder from me than you. I just want you to know that. So,
You got it.
well, we say, excuse me, that snuck up on me. We say that, and then next thing you know, it's fucking, 50 minutes later, and we're not even done with one show. So let's try not to do that. Let's do our best. Let's do our best. All right. That's all you can
The
ask.
show's going to end at 2:47.
No. That means no. I can't get 2 hours of fucking sleep. No, it's not going to happen. Anyway, if you guys want to check out one of the greater shows, you go out there and listen to the High Marks. That's right. You want to be listening to G Wiz Mojo and the Cheese Man. That's right. You want to be Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. 2 T's in that last mitt there. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. Check them out there. 8:30 p.m. Sunday night Eastern Time. There you go. High Marks. Check those guys out. Of course, you got Bobby Anthem and the Bobby Blades. They are over there on the Inhuman Experience. Check out the Inhumans over there. All the usual podcast platforms. And I believe I saw an old head metal podcast pop up on my feed.
Very nice.
I believe I did. Check that out. Think I saw that pop up. And like I said, all the usual podcast platforms, check them out. And of course, everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Eric, Doug, Daniel, that crazy bunch of characters over there. Go check them out on Blog Talk Radio and all those podcast platforms that you want to download from. Steve Milan sharing the show. Go show him love over on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Steve Milan. Check out his movie reviews. And speaking of that, don't forget, Hollywood Hangout, September 3rd, coming back. Excited. I'm excited. Smart, you excited for draft day? I know you are. Don't have to say it. Don't say it. You don't have to. You don't have to.
That's right.
You know,
You've said it all.
that's it. You know what? You guys know where to find us. Smart, go ahead.
That's right. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. It's Cheese on Sports. It's Cheese Man, Cheese Master. Sundays, 10:30 a.m. on the Metal Mid Podcast Network on the Mixler Machine, the Mo Dirk City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk and last. Never least. Be sure to check out our friends at Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, Yuck Nasty. All episodes of Season 1 are available for you right now. Season 2 is ongoing, so be sure to subscribe.
Right there. You know, keep rolling those R's like that. Your tongue is going to stick.
Like to a frozen pole a la Christmas Story.
No, that really happens, actually. I mean, have you ever had a fucking ice cube stick to your tongue? Like, holy fuck. Okay.
O'Shea Jackson? No.
Oh, Jesus. No. Not what I meant. Not at all what I meant.
There was blood and Jerry curl juice everywhere. It was a terrible, terrible time.
No, it's not what I meant. Anyway, let's move on. Christmas Story is one of my favorite movies. That was reviewed on a previous Hollywood Hangout, if you want to check that out. Oh, good God, good Lord. What just happened? Wow, that was a fucking left turn I wasn't expecting right there. Wow, we should just get into politics from there, right? No.
Well, sure.
Well, no. Let's jump in. Let's just, like I said, we got a lot. I want to spend a little time. You guys have heard all this shit about SummerSlam. You don't need to fucking hear a bunch by me or Smark make that. But there's a few things I do want to mention. Obviously, a few, title changes we can talk about. RK Bro did defeat OJ. See what you got me doing, man?
Nope.
No, I'm putting this one on you. AJ Styles and Omos is who I meant to say. You see what I did there. I saw the Omos. I saw the AJ.
In the immortal words of New Jack, keep up the good work.
Oh, God, I want to cry. Oh, shit. Oh, let's just rewind and start over. RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle defeated AJ Styles and Omos to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. That was a fucking pretty good match, as it should have been. Again, man, Omos is a really big guy, but I don't know. I like what he's doing. He's not Khali big. You know what I mean? All right. You know what? He's not Khali bad. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like he could like walk up a flight of stairs without his bones just breaking off of him.
You don't hear clicking up 3 rows when he's walking down to the ring.
It just looks like everything that the guy does is just painful, and not in like a good way where his offense is just powerful, but it just looks like poor Khali just looks like napping would be a physical experience.
Well, yeah, there's that. There is that. But I don't know. I did enjoy that. It wasn't a very long match. It was only 7 minutes long, but pretty good stuff there. And I've been a fan of RK Bro since it happened. I was hoping we were going to get at least this kind of run. I was hoping they weren't just going to boom, Randy turns on him and we're done.
Right. Yeah. The right team won in that particular instance.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, most definitely think that right there. We had another title change, Smark, with Damian Priest defeating Sheamus. Become the new United States champion. That was pretty cool right there. That was actually a pretty long match right there. Not very long, but, decent match.
Compared to a lot of the other matches, because there's like some that were like under 5 minutes, like multiple. This one actually went pretty long, and it's nice and physical. I like the part towards the end where Priest takes his mask off and Sheamus acts like they were in space, like his face is going to explode. He just starts flailing around. Just can't believe that his mask is off of him.
Yeah, I know. Like fucking Elephant Man or something. I am not an animal. Anyway, old movie, bad reference. I don't know if you probably never saw that movie, did you?
I mean, I know of the Elephant Man.
Okay. Old movie. But Damian Priest, I've been, I really like the guy. I've been kind of praising him for a long time. I'm glad because it seemed like for a while they're just like stuck on fucking just amped up with them just having to be against Miz and Morrison. And it was just dragging. And it looked like they were going to keep going with it. But, oh, shit, sorry about that. But it looks like, obviously, they got bigger plans for him. Don't know how big of plans they have for him. I guess we'll see what happens with this U.S. Championship and what they're going to do with it. But I was happy to see him fucking win, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was too, and like you were saying, I'm kind of glad that they're going to end this seemingly endless feud with him and Miz and Morrison. We're talking about it had been going on for 7 months now, and it's just, 7 months too many.
Well, it looks like it's the end of Miz and Morrison anyway.
The end of an era, as it were.
I think so, man. Been a while. The bad thing is both those guys play great off of someone else.
Right.
Now, the Miz, I don't mind, but he's always had either someone else or some eye candy. I don't know what they're planning on doing. Maybe Maurice is coming back. I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. Maybe they'll be fine. I mean, Morrison was on his own for a while before he got released, then came back. So whatever. Anyway, that's one thing less we have to talk about on Raw. See how we did that?
Going down the old checklist.
There you go.
This is like the jury duty episode. We just got to get everything out of the way and we can all go home.
That's exactly what it is.
Try not to have too much fun out there, everybody.
Again, man, I don't want to go match by match, and I want to spend little time on it because, again, I mean, it's fucking, this happened Saturday.
Right. No, I get you.
It's Wednesday. I mean, are we going to say
It is
anything
Wednesday.
groundbreaking? If we do, trust me, someone will fucking pick it up. I doubt it, but we're not going to say anything groundbreaking. I mean, what else are we going to here? What else are we going to? Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, this is...
Oh, well, go ahead.
This was a thing. But yeah, okay, so it starts off, we were talking about this Friday, where the actual match was in jeopardy as to whether or not it was going to be Sasha and Bianca or not.
Right.
Because both had to be pulled from house shows the previous weekend. I tried to say prior and previous at the same time and accomplished neither. The previous weekend, both had been pulled off of house show events, so they were saying that it might not end up happening. And what ended up happening was they knew full well that Sasha wasn't going to be available, and they still full steam ahead went ahead and advertised her anyway. Until the literal very last minute, they even showed like the picture of her on the graphic during the pay-per-view, and then was like, hey, so she's not going to be here. But what we do have is Carmella, and this poor lady comes out to fucking dead silence. They weren't even booing. It was like the old, like the thing you never want to hear your parents say, we're not mad, we're just disappointed.
Oh.
Like they weren't even booing her. They were just so deflated that they just like stood there. They were just sitting on their hands and just staring forward. And this poor woman has to get some kind of response. And like, she's just out there flailing. I felt bad for her.
Yeah, that I gotta say, I kind of did. I'm sitting there thinking, man, they just number 30 Rey Mysterio at her. That's the fucking vibe I got right there. You remember what I'm talking about? Everyone was expecting Daniel Bryan to come out and poor Rey or Batista, right? They were expecting one of the two for some reason. I don't know why they were expecting Batista. And then next thing you know, it's Rey. No. Wait, Batista was in the ring, wasn't he?
He might have been. I think basically there was a couple of different things. They were just hoping that it was going to be like anybody, but I think Roman that year, and it was still Roman that year, so they were.
Well, there was that one. Yeah, oh, dude, there was a couple of years that they just said, fuck you. And one year they wanted someone, and it was fucking Cena. Like, oh, come on, we know. But all right, so yeah, all that, and obviously, you know what, Smark, you can obviously tie in your little article with that.
I'm on it.
I knew you would be, sir. Go for it.
All right. So I'll read a little bit of this here. This is from Wrestling Inc. Sean Waltman weighed in on this. He says, I understand the predicament. There's just an old way of thinking that took over there. And I understand that, but it was the wrong thing to do, Waltman said. There's an old saying, if you're going to have a replacement, the replacement needs to be of equal or greater value. For instance, I was in a really top match on all the house shows versus Razor after I turned heel, but then they said Scott failed a drug test. I was 6 months old, and all of a sudden Scott suspended. They didn't announce that Scott wasn't going to be at the shows, which is kind of like the situation when they announced that he wasn't going to be there. The people booed because they wanted to see him. But then the bagpipes played, and out came Roddy Piper, and the fans went nuts. And we beat the shit out of each other. Anyways, we had great matches. The people were happy. And here's the key part, though. We had a great match. You can't do that. They did that, obviously, in reference to just the match being 20 seconds long. But I don't think they realized how bad it was. I know there's probably no great choice, but that's not the one to make. And then he goes on just to say Bianca is on her way to being a mega star. And a lot of people are really emotionally invested in her. You can't do that to people in this day and age, Waltman pointed out. You used to be able to do it. That's why I was saying that this was the old mentality, but everyone knows what's going on. The fan base is incredibly educated in WWE. I've heard them compare themselves to Marvel. Marvel, when it comes to fan service, they're amazing. This ain't it. You shit on a huge portion of your fan base like that. I'm a huge Becky Lynch fan, really big. I was so happy with her run, and when she got bloody nose, cut the promo and all that shit, I'm still a big fan. They did her no favors. It was just unbelievable. Bianca, she's a thoroughbred. It's just totally unbelievable that you would go out and get beat that quickly by anybody in that fucking roster.
Maybe Nia Jax, he says at the end there, which, I mean, that's who gave her the bloody nose, dude. Anyway, I think he hit every point. And from his point of view, it means even more than what me or you would have said. I'm not so sure I agree with the old school point of view on it.
Just in the sense that back in the day, a blatant kind of squash match on even a pay-per-view was somewhat more acceptable than it is now.
Yeah, you're right. But they also used to announce this shit early. When someone got suspended, they told you. Nowadays, I got to tell you, I'm surprised they were able to pull this off with internet and leaks and Meltzer and, old fucking Michael Hayes leaking shit to Meltzer.
Well, it was weird
allegedly.
Their way of kind of getting through this was everybody was saying that they suspected that this match was in jeopardy, and their response was just putting their fingers in their ears and just yelling, "La, la, la, we can't hear you." Because everybody knew and everybody was saying, like, I don't know if you should expect this match to happen. And then they just kept full speed ahead advertising it anyway.
Well, I mean, let's face it, the WWE's being run like that, as is our country. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I gotta say, like I said, everything he said, I mean, from what he said there at the beginning, my God, just imagine your replacement for Razor Ramon. You're a kid here. I mean, he was a kid during all this. This was during Lightning Kid, I'm sure, or 1-2-3 Kid maybe, because he was the 1-2-3 Kid after the Razor win. The replacement for Razor Ramon is another fucking legend, Roddy fucking Piper.
Right.
My God, man. This kid, dude, he had the best career. Sean Waltman. I mean, had a great career. Has a porno out. As he said, he looked pretty big in it, as he said. He was proud of it. He was pretty proud. So, hey, good for him, man. And you know what? I've always said this about fucking Waltman, man. Always goes out there, owns the dumb shit he did. Sticks to it. All right, I did it. I fucked up. I'm trying to be a better person. Always really respected that about him. But like I said, man, what they did was shitty. You're right. 26-second match, like you said. It just, why? And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, that was his point. Was like, okay, you were expecting Bianca versus Sasha. Sasha couldn't be there. Becky versus Sasha is like, they're both comparable in terms of star power, name value, what have you. But you also have to deliver when the match happens. Like, everybody was super excited when Becky came out. She hadn't been there since, she announced that she was pregnant and all of that. It's been quite a while. She comes out, everybody's super excited again, and then the match is just immediately over. So it's like, there's no good match. There was no, like, basically you sort of sacrifice two different people, because you sacrifice Bianca and her reign, and then you sacrifice Carmella, but that's sort of to a lesser extent. But you sacrifice two people in the name of getting somebody over that's already over, that people already wanted to see. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I could understand bringing her out there and having her win the match. But, that's after, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. You have a nice long match or whatever. And then, the story that you tell is very simple, that just Bianca wasn't prepared for this. Becky knew it was coming, so she kind of had the drop on her. She had the edge. She won the match.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people like, well, technically Becky never really lost the belt. So, and I'm like, well, first of all, it was the Raw fucking belt that she never lost. And Bianca had nothing to do with that. It was Asuka. So I'm not sure what's going on, why they... I mean, I guess I can see why, but the one thing that I definitely agree with Waltman here is that people were really emotionally invested in her. We saw that the night after she won. She was cutting these PSA promos, which that's not her fault. Not her fault. She's reading what fucking creative gives her. So that's not her fault that she was doing that. I'm glad they pulled her away from him for a while. But... I mean, I guess when you think about all of Sasha's mini runs with the title, maybe she should be lucky she held it as long as she did.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the thing about the PSA promos, though, is like, we talked about this before, how basically there's 8 women on the roster who have the same gimmick of just that they're overly confident and they all think they're the best. Like that's Sasha's gimmick, that's Charlotte's gimmick, that's Bianca's gimmick. But you almost needed those like public service announcement promos or all the video footage that they showed of like her dad watching and crying and her parents at home just being overly emotional when she won, and like to sort of make her a little bit more relatable. So, I mean, to some degree, you actually kind of needed that because that was one of the only things that kind of made her character different from the other, like I said, like 8 women on that roster who just go out there and say that they're the best because they're the best.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I see where you're going there, but you're right though. It is. I mean, they're all supposed to be the best. That's why they're in WWE, right?
Sure, of course.
But
they're putting smiles on people's faces.
Absolutely. But I mean, obviously those PSA promos were for that exact reason, to get you emotionally attached to her character. And I'm sure it worked for a lot of people. Obviously it did, because man, everyone lost their mind when this happened. Lost their goddamn minds. I didn't watch this until Sunday. But holy shit, man. They lost their goddamn minds with this shit. It was crazy watching the fucking internet. Oh, that's it. Bianca's gone, dead. She should leave. AEW, go, leave, quit. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that is also another thing, is that there's a lot of people when it comes to women's wrestling, they get a little bit too involved and become a little too defensive of their favorite. And unfortunately, it usually ends up being that it's the guys that do that. Usually the female wrestling fans that are fans of a particular female wrestler are not nearly as defensive or irrational as the male fans are.
I'll kill you if you make fun of her again. Like that guy? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I do. What's up, Cheese Man?
Yeah, nice to see Cheese in the building.
There you go. We got, all right. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think he hit every mark, no pun intended, every mark that needed to be said in that little, in those few paragraphs. So, I mean, Charlotte Flair wins. LOL.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
There's really not that much more to talk about. It was a good match, but it was just like, and we all saw this coming. I even said on the show and in the chat room, I guaranteed she was going to win. But like the whole story is based on how Nikki comes close to winning, how she can almost win, how she's like trying to fight and prove that she belongs there with everybody else, and then she just loses. So she didn't belong with everybody else after all. So it's just like, well, that's great storytelling. You just wasted a month of time.
She almost did. She almost belonged, which is fine. That's fine. But I mean, like I said, Charlotte wins. LOL. Whatever. But this next fucking match, I guess these guys just said, fuck it, we got nothing to lose. Edge and Seth Rollins. These guys killed it, dude.
Yes, it was easily, by far, by a long shot, the best match on the show.
I was so glad. First of all, I was glad they gave it time. I was. Now, I know the last time they gave Edge time was with Randy Orton, and it was awful. That one WrestleMania match, we all know. Let's just breeze past it like it didn't happen. This shit here, first of all, we got Brood Edge. I loved the fucking entrance. Now, they couldn't do pyro, Smark.
Yes.
They couldn't do pyro. They could have a ton of people in the arena. No math, didn't matter. But no boom boom, please.
See, I would have loved that as a kid, because as a kid I was actually very scared of fireworks. So
Really?
up until I turned about 11 or 12, I was scared of fireworks. So I would go to live shows, I'd go to Raw, go to pay-per-views, and I would kind of get a good idea of who was going to come out next, and if they had pyro in their entrance outside of just like the sparklers, because there was like Ultimate Warrior had sparklers. That was about, like, there was no loud explosion noises, but like if I knew Kane was coming, my ass was in that bathroom. You better believe it. Fucking fingers and ears stuck down.
Oh, poor little Smarky.
I mean, I say 11, but this was when I was 24. So.
I'm sorry, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hope you're not having any flashbacks right now. But my God, man, this match was fucking awesome. I loved seeing, like I said, that entrance for Edge. I loved seeing it. It still looked cool. It really did. It still looked great. I loved getting Brood Edge back. I would love to see this character come back every goddamn week, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know, man. I just can't say enough good shit about this match. But like I said, I was glad they gave it the time they did. I really never put it past Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been great for a while. He does go out there and have good matches. He's hurt a couple of guys, Sting, Finn Balor. But shit happens, I guess. Shit happens. Even though it happened on the same move, shit still happens. And he still had a fucking great match with Edge. So there you go. What else you got on this match? Smark, I hear you over there typing away.
Oh no, I just agree with that. I would recommend that if you're going to look at one match from that show, that's the match to do it. And I also thought it was kind of cool that on SummerSlam and even on TakeOver, there was another instance where this happened of people using the moves of their significant others. Because at one point, Edge ended up hitting the Glam Slam on, well, I guess, I don't know what the actual technical term for the move is called, but that's a version of it on Rollins. So that was pretty cool. They kind of pointed that out a little bit on commentary too, so that was nice.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely pretty cool. I mean, Seth Rollins is using the pedigree.
Well played.
I'm like, come on, please. That was a ground ball, man. Okay. All right. Anyway, I think we all knew Bobby Lashley was gonna defeat Goldberg. Quick 7-minute match. I mean, Jesus Christ, Goldberg. I don't care what he's getting paid. He comes out every couple of, years. Just, couple of blahs, and that's it. You're next. Blah. And then, goes out, has a 7-minute match, loses, and goes home.
More than anything, outside of anything that actually happened other than Goldberg throwing Lashley at the top rope and almost dropping him directly on his head, what was particularly surprising was just that pretty much nobody was behind Goldberg. Like, Lashley was the biggest. Like, outside of, like, the return of Becky, I think, was, like, the biggest face. It was just everybody was cheering for him. Like, Goldberg goes for the spear. MVP grabs his foot. The crowd goes nuts, cheering and applauding. And Bobby Lashley wins the match. After the fact, he starts beating up Goldberg more. Goldberg's son ends up jumping on Lashley. Lashley ends up choking him out. And as Lashley is choking out this sophomore in high school, the fans are just fucking uproariously cheering, laughing, applauding. It was like the biggest pop.
I know. I mean, this guy literally has a 15-year-old in a fucking, in this fucking full Nelson, and the crowd is still cheering for. I'm like, oh.
Like, after a while, if I was Goldberg, I feel like I would just get the message. Like, yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe I've made enough money. Like, people are cheering my son being beaten up. He's not even an adult yet. People are like fucking rooting for my kid being punched in the face by this grown man. That's how tired they are of me.
These sadistic fucks. I mean, seriously, man, it was a little sadistic of that crowd, but
which everyone's cheering. I'm like laughing at them cheering this kid being beaten up, but then I'm also very like sad and mournful because I now know that this means that there's going to be another Goldberg Lashley match.
Maybe. I don't know, man. He seems to just move from person to person to person, and I think they're trying to move him on eventually to that Roman match, but we'll see.
I mean, it seems like after he like beat up your child, like you must have to have some sort of a rematch, probably at the Saudi show, which I hope so, because I will be watching that anyway, so I won't have to deal with it. But
well, WWE did some quick damage control. They were like, "Oh, Lashley didn't know who it was. He was attacked from behind. Calm down, people."
Well, that was MVP. He was like,
"Yeah,
MVP could have
MVP.
been anybody," and he's like shuffling out. He's like, "We had no idea it was your son. Don't sue us. Let's go."
Yeah, that was good, but I I don't know. We'll see what they do with Goldberg down the road. I think he's got another match on paper, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he'll still keep showing up.
Yeah, he will. Let me see something here. Ah, shit. Close to 50 minutes. Anyway, this is the longest of the cards anyway. We're on the last match anyway. Roman Reigns. He defeats John Cena, but this was another. Man, this was a good match. But again, I really feel that what they did Friday night when they said the whole, if Reigns loses, he's leaving WWE, they just telegraphed that match so big time. They never should have done that. It was too much.
Yeah, I mean, like, you were exactly right. I was thinking that there was maybe going to be some kind of weird loophole that happened, but nope, they just straight up told you what was going to happen on the Friday before the show, and then it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, it was just a little too much. It wasn't needed. It was unnecessary, is what it was. I think I might have said that Friday night. It was definitely unnecessary. So, but let's face it, match was great. There was nothing wrong with the match, but the most talked about thing after the match, Brock comes out. And he didn't change a thing about himself from that picture we saw. It was the weird ponytail with the beard and looking, my God. And when they showed him from the back, his arms looked like they were down past his knees.
Yep.
This guy is just a freak of fucking nature. He comes out, he gives a little stare to Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman is just like cowering in the corner. My God. Paul Heyman is just, I mean, doesn't say a word. He's just he's in the corner selling better than most of the guys in the match.
Just a look of sheer panic and terror in his eyes. He's still got like the lay on too.
Absolutely great shit right there from those from that whole little fucking little thing. And then he went in and obviously WWE put out the footage of what the hell? My dog just went under my feet. WWE put out the footage of Brock Lesnar after they went off the air for SummerSlam, just suplexing the shit out of John Cena, and the crowd went nuts for it, man. Once again, a bunch of sadistic sons of bitches over there.
Which, I mean, I'll give Cena a lot of credit, though, to be a big star in the company and to also be somewhat of a star in Hollywood now at this point. Because, I mean, he's getting work. He's doing well for himself. And to still be willing to, whatever, you could say that it's after the show, so it doesn't mean as much, but still being willing to just have Brock Lesnar just straight up kick his ass for like a solid 5 minutes. Like, it says a lot about him as just being a good person, I think.
Yeah, he didn't care. He's going to go home, rest, and go film another movie, I'm sure. Like I said, I mean, we definitely have. I know he's got a few dates, but I think they may be just quick shows. I'm not sure if they're anything. I know we said he had a few dates after SummerSlam. I just forgot what they were. So, I don't know, man. Go ahead.
Slightly interesting note, real quick. So we talked about Becky came back. This was a long-awaited return of Becky Lynch, is that and the third. They made a whole bunch of different, merchandise, as one would, to commemorate this moment. Well, the stadium that they're running in, that was the Las Vegas Raiders stadium, they don't accept cash. It's card only. Well, the internet was down, so people could not buy anything for about an hour or so, Brian Alvarez was saying. It was also kind of interesting because some reports came out later after the fact that they were just giving people like free concession items, food, not merchandise, but you get a hot dog or some popcorn or whatever, because people couldn't buy anything.
Right. Now, were the hot dogs cooked?
That's a good question. I think they were cooked. I think you did have to, however, shake hands with the person before you could get one.
I mean, that's better. That's better than what was that, an Extreme Rising show Shaheen just told the story about?
Yes, the uncooked hot dogs.
They just brought it. Just take your hot dog and fuck off. Here's your rolled bologna. Get the fuck out of my face.
Now, you know, it's one of those fucking Bar Z joints where it's like $1 for an 8-pack of hot dogs. And you know that just like whatever animal that is inside of that, you don't want to eat it.
My kids like those.
Yeah, they're great for kids. Like when you're an adult and you kind of understand what's going on.
Well, and then I bought Hebrew National ones, and now they won't eat anything else.
I
spoiled them. I spoil my kids. What do you want me to do? Costco has the Hebrew National, though. They're like $11 for 3 packs of 10. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if the alternative is having to also eat the Bar Z hot dogs, just go ahead and spoil those kids away.
And they don't eat them much anyway, so it's no big deal. But SummerSlam was a good show, man. And barring a few little weirdness that they did, obviously the things with Bianca, but Brock coming back was really cool shit.
Did they ever get to that fucking DJ that nobody knew who he was? Because like I watched the show, and unless I was just at the bathroom when he came out, I never saw him.
I didn't either. Did you watch the pre-show? Was he on the pre-show?
He had to have been, because I watched the whole pay-per-view, and he wasn't on the pay-per-view, so I don't know.
Huh. All right. Guess we'll find out. Christopher Kane showing up. What's going on, man? Yeah, I guess we'll maybe I'll have to check that out now and see, because I know they didn't say pre-show, but I'm still amazed they had the Big E match on the pre-show, but
right.
Hey, who am I? Just some weird guy, right?
Yeah, so all in all, not a great show. Like, they had good wrestlers and they had matches that could have been good, but for the most part, like, a lot of the matches were like between 5 to 7 minutes for whatever ungodly known reason. And then there's just a whole lot of extra like fluff. At one point, they ask Damian Priest how he feels about winning the Intercontinental Championship. He's like, "It makes me happy." And then they go to another segment. I'm like, okay, was this necessary? Like, you could have done this shit on Raw.
Yeah. Those fucking like Joe Rogan attack after the match promos.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Xavier Woods shooting a squirt gun at Miz and Morrison. They did bring out, though, we talked about him on the show like a week or two ago before, Gable Steveson, which I will, if you'd automatically default to Pat McAfee, I'm going to have to automatically default to Stevenson. Steveson just does not make sense as a name to me.
All right, there you go.
Because like I said, we read the article. I read the article, and I called him Stevenson like numerous times, and then they said Gabe Steveson, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really? Huh? I added the N apparently the entire time.
I didn't correct you, so I must have been reading it the same way. All right, let's breeze through. Luckily, I mean that was an 11-match show we just fucking talked about, so I think we kept it under 50.
That's right.
Not much, but under. So let's get into TakeOver a little bit. I gotta tell you, I turned on TakeOver. Man, there was just a lot of shit going on that day. There was just a lot of shit going on. Because I turned it on actually Monday. And there was just a lot of shit going on in my house. My kids had homework, and they didn't get home till late, and all kinds of shit was going on. So I gotta tell you, I might have missed a few things on this show. I apologize if I did. So I guess let's just roll with that. Didn't see the pre-show, but I do know that Rich Holland is back. It was versus Trey Baxter. Rich Holland won.
Mm-hmm.
Minute 45 seconds.
What I thought was going to happen did happen. What most people thought was going to happen did happen. There you have it.
Okay, there you go. So on with that. We get Cameron Grimes. He did finally defeat LA Knight. This match was obviously for the $1 Million Championship. Had Grimes lost, DiBiase would have been a butler. You knew that wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to fucking happen. You knew Cameron Grimes had to get his comeuppance in this match. And he did.
Mm-hmm. There's a little spot towards the end there where he locked in the $1 Million Dream, and like Knight tried to counter it in every way, and then Grimes just kept finding new and unique ways to hold on to the move.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
And then you
it
had
was.
like the end where basically you just had Ted kind of win the match for him, but it still works. Works good.
It's still DiBiase's always a heel, no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. And
Also, I feel like the referee was kind of out of position because I feel like the referee saw him like it hit him. Saw DiBiase hit Knight at the end, and it was still just like, "Hey, what are you gonna do?"
He turned his head.
Like, I don't like the guy either. Fuck it, go ahead and put him.
This guy sucks. We know it. Go ahead. But yeah, I great match. No fun match. Yes. And I thought they actually, and I'm not a big fan of LA Knight, but I actually thought they told a good little story in the ring. And you're right, with DiBiase at the end there, but who cares? Who cares? It didn't ruin the match. So, but that did tie into NXT a little later, where I thought it was hilarious when I saw this part where Grimes tried to give him the belt back.
Mm-hmm.
And DiBiase gives like, no, you keep it. A little reminder of everything, and he feels it's lighter. DiBiase fucking bait and switch the belt.
It's a replica.
It's a replica from fucking WWE. Fucking love it, man. That was the best way. The best way to end that was it right there. That was the best way.
Which was great because this indicates like a level of foresight that at some point he had the plan that this was how he was going to get his belt back. So he had a replica belt ready just in case. I really like this though, because this is like, it's very unlike them, WWE just in general, that there was a clear beginning and a clear end to the story. Like the continuity stayed, it told the story, it like went through, it started, it ended, it was all coherent, it all made sense. You had Grimes, he made a bunch of money off Bitcoin, started acting like an asshole, a la the episode of South Park where everything that they did, The Simpsons already did. People kept telling Grimes that Ted DiBiase already did it. So he starts cursing out Ted DiBiase for a couple of weeks. He finally ends up interacting with Ted DiBiase. Turns out that they're both birds of a feather. They become friends. He ends up winning, getting him in his corner. And then he ends up winning the $1 Million Championship. But along the way, Ted DiBiase basically imparts on him that he needs to be his own man and live his own legacy, so he gives him the belt back. And then Ted's gone. So it's like, I actually applaud them for actually sticking with the story and telling the entire thing the entire way through and not letting it go on too long.
Yeah, you're right. They really did. They told the story perfectly. And wow, you're right. They really did. But again, this is not WWE. We are NXT. And it was told great, though, either way. You're right. It was. It had a beginning. It had a middle. It had an end. It had it had 50-50 booking like they love, but it was the right way to do it the whole way.
Well, yeah, we actually wanted to see him, or at least I did, win that match now. If you would have just had him win that ladder match and then that was it, that would have still been rewarding, but it was actually a journey, and it actually kind of made you invested and actually did a good job of turning him from heel to face. So now whatever it is that he's going to do next, the crowd's behind him.
Yeah, I mean, both of us said when that happened that, we didn't like the way the match came out, but we understand that the feud's going to continue, and, we knew it was leading to Grimes getting his comeuppance one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. Let's see. So after that, we got Raquel Gonzalez defeating Dakota Kai. That was for the NXT Women's Championship.
Two things stand out to me real quick. First off, that counter that Gonzalez did, because like Kai went to kick her with a scorpion kick where she like throws her leg back, she catches it, and then power bombs her. That was some cool shit. A, and B, being the kind of scumbag that I am, I have to point out the fact that top was incredibly loose.
A little.
Yes, she, a la Ronda Rousey, had to keep adjusting her gear numerous times during the match, and it was actually kind of distracting after a point.
Yeah, it was Rousey-ish. I did notice that. I did. But I thought this was another good match, and this was another match, though, I thought was well timed. Not too long, not too short. Saying it was 12 minutes here. I thought it was 10 minutes, but either way, I thought it was good. Glad they didn't take that belt off of Raquel Gonzalez. There's no reason for it. No reason at all. She's such a dominant champion. I'm not sure right now who can take that belt off of her. They're just not building anyone to that right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem, but I think for everything else that you said, I agree with you. I thought it was a really good match. Both of them are really solid. I think Dakota Kai is really good, and I think Gonzalez has done her job quite well. For somebody who had no like formal independent wrestling experience, as far as I can tell, she's really done a good job of like growing quickly.
It's amazing how Dakota Kai was just coming out there all smiles for a while, a couple years ago, and then suddenly there's this huge heel turn by her. And like ever since then, she's just been on fire.
She's been doing a really good job.
Yeah. She's just been on fire ever since then. I think it's been a couple years now, at least, maybe even 2.5 years. Who knows? But really, really awesome stuff by those two. So
only real negative, or not necessarily negative, but only kind of gripe, and it's nitpicky at best. But just after the match, they had Kaylee Ray come out, and they gave the fan base, and by fan base I mean me, too much credit. Because she came out and I was like, who the hell is that? Because immediately they're like, oh my God, I can't believe she's out here. I was like, who? Who is out here? Like, you can't count on people to watch NXT UK. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But there she is. But I mean, she was in that tournament, the
Mae Young Classic.
That one right there. There you go. Speaking of classic, Smark, this next match should go down as one. Ilya Dragunov against Walter. The singles match for the NXT UK Championship. God damn, that was a good match, dude. This should go down as a fucking classic right here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. And just everything about dude Dragunov. I mean, the first time I saw him, I was impressed. The second time I saw him, equally impressed. Third time I've seen him right now, equally impressed. This guy has it 100%. And it's funny. There's Walter obviously is great too. Going out there, but it's funny. There's an article. If you want to talk about, no fucking shit articles, Wrestling Inc. has this article, and the headline alone just made me chuckle today. WWE reportedly pushing for Walter to join NXT roster. Well, yeah, no shit you guys want that motherfucker here. I don't blame you. The guy is money. He's a draw.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. Because they kept putting over in commentary. And I mean, it's not that it's really an uncommon thing at this point, but it's still impressive. Pushing 300 pounds and just can very easily drop kicks and moonsaults and shit like that. Just moves very well for somebody of his size. And also is just able to deliver a fucking beating, unlike anybody outside of Brock Lesnar can fucking dish on somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Dragunov will be on, I think, next week's NXT, right?
I believe so. By the by, real quick, did you see, just almost from the very onset, those fucking blood blisters? My goodness. Just his Dragunov's entire chest, for the most part, was just completely red. It looked like his blood vessels were about to pop. Like, it was crazy. He ended up getting, from one of the previous NXT shows, he ended up having to get stitches. And just less than 5 minutes in, he just rips the Band-Aid off and just chucks it. He's like, well, if it happens, it happens. The shit gets busted up, it gets busted open. I don't care.
Yeah. And Christopher Kane, like he just said, Walter's type of champion I prefer. Same here, man. Just a fucking brute of a fucking guy. And I mean, those chops are what he is known for, tearing people's chest up. Let's face it, the match that kind of, I don't want to say put him on the map, but the match that got him a lot of, attention was the one against PCO, where PCO's chest looked like it was going to fucking start bleeding. And it was bleeding, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, it was. He beat the ever loving shit out of him because I was on the I believe the Joy Janela Spring Break show. One of them, I forget which number, but I did see that one.
Two. I think it was the second one. I think.
I could look that up while we're talking about it. But yeah, that worked out well for both people because that was sort of the beginning of the resurgence for PCO of like everybody after that show. Not only were they talking about how much of a monster Walter was, so it worked out great for him, but after the fact, they were also talking about just how crazy PCO is and how much he's willing to put his body on the line. And it began his sort of career resurgence, him going to Ring of Honor, winning their championship, and just sort of being more over now than he had ever been in the past because of that match in large part.
And he's still putting out videos every Monday night.
Mm-hmm. Still in Ring of Honor, still doing his thing.
Still doing his thing. So every Monday night, though, him and Destro putting out videos of PCO doing crazy stuff, but those videos are awesome. Can't help but watch them. I just can't help but watch them. He posts them over in the Wrestling Umbrella. If you guys want to check
By the way, you were
out.
correct. It is Spring Break 2.
Look at that. Not even the indie guy. I thought it was. I actually watched that match.
Did you?
Yeah. I did.
This is quite the I hate to go down this road, but this is actually in hindsight quite the interesting card in retrospect. Some of these names did not age so well. Teddy Hart was in the opener. That was one. Matt Riddle defeated James Ellsworth. That's a whole thing. David Starr defeated Mike Quackenbush. That's a whole thing. Some of these names did not kind of hold up well over the years, but it was a really good show at the time.
Wow,
and it still is. The match quality is great. But.
Joey Janela speaking out movement too. That was horrible. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah, I did. Okay.
By the way, I think that was in like 2017 or so. I want to say. So it's like it was still quite a while before shit hit the fan for a lot of these people.
Oh yeah. Which just kind of creeps me out because you're like, wow, what's going on at that show too? I don't know. Let's just move on. We had the Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, the 2 out of 3 falls match. The first fall was to be a traditional wrestling match. The second fall was a street fight. And the last match was a steel cage match. I enjoyed this. I really did. I'm not going to say Adam Cole is horrible. He's not overrated. I believe he's a little overhyped. I'm not the biggest Adam Cole fan. I got to be honest with you. I believe he's just another plug and play guy. Kyle O'Reilly is kind of the same thing to me. So I'm going to go ahead and admit I wasn't very invested in this match because I just not a big fan of either one of these guys. Kyle O'Reilly just comes off as some dork really, really, really trying to be cool with the other kids in class. And
okay, well, we'll get to that first then real quick. Because I don't know if I'll talk about this while we're talking about NXT, but you want to talk about an opportunity to make a star. NXT, they had it was Kyle O'Reilly and Duke Hudson in the back. And you had Duke Hudson comes up to Kyle O'Reilly and he just starts talking to him and he's blabbing on about how he's trying to swindle a title match. Kyle O'Reilly slaps him in the face. Duke Hudson grabs him by the head, slams his head against the locker like 8 times and says, "Don't do that again." And like if they would have just left that as it is, I would have probably become like the biggest Duke Hudson fan in the world. Because it's the idea of he just like fucking thrashed the guy. He's like, "Don't try that again, boy. I will beat that ass one more time if I have to." But then, of course, they had to have a little pull-apart brawl after the fact. But if you would have just left it like that, just stomping his ass out, that would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right, it would have been. But I got to tell you, man, putting this match on after that Dragunov Walter match, dude, I was fucking tired.
I do kind of agree with that. I kind of think that you should have put something, because it was just like I thought about that more so during the main event of just like you put on the 3 heavy hitters like back to back to back. I feel like you probably like somewhere between that, either like you said, between the Walter match or between the O'Reilly match and the main event, you should have put maybe the Grimes match or the women's title match just as kind of a little bit of a breather, because you just had, like I said, the 3 sort of high impact, heavy hitting, sort of big expectation matches, all 3 back to back. And by the time you got to the main event, especially, it's like, how are they going to follow this shit?
Yeah, you really could have used a cooler. And, you know, look, like I said, I wasn't very invested. I'm not going to say this wasn't a good bout with all three of them. I'll put it together in a bout. How's that sound? Mm-hmm. There you go. Has that big fight feel, Smark? Huh? Would Michael Cole love it? Would it have a big fight feel to it? Would he, you think?
Yeah, sure, of course. Big fight feel.
So to this bout, it was good. Total good story. I mean, Smarky went to storytelling with Cameron Grimes. This one's been telling a story too. They had a few hiccups in the story with pushing a few things too far and just kind of some weird stuff like that hospital video, which was hilarious yet weird. But again, I was already exhausted after that. I wasn't even in the arena, and I was like, God damn, that match tired me out. It was insane. And then you go to this, and you're kind of like, this is supposed to be a really good match, but from that match I just saw, man, just not the same. Just not the same.
I thought it was good. I like the idea that you had O'Reilly win the first fall, then you had like him almost immediately injure his ribs. So even though he was in a position of dominance theoretically, because he already had the advantage, he was actually at a disadvantage for the rest of the match. That was kind of cool. They flipped it like that.
Yeah, and that it looked like he really did land rib first on that fucking chair. Anyway.
But hit the turnbuckle.
The turnbuckle, sorry.
Because he hit the turnbuckle, then hit the mat, and then he was. But they did show the replay, and I kind of wish that they wouldn't have, because it looks far less spontaneous when they show the replay.
It did. It looked good, and then it didn't look so good. It's all about that fucking camera angle, bro. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but definitely, once again, these fucking NXT shows always deliver, no matter what. Like I said, it was just the placement of this match. Me personally, just not really being invested in either guy. And that's got nothing to do with anything. Just because I personally didn't like the match doesn't mean it wasn't a good match. Put it that way.
Yeah, I liked it. I think. Well, but I mean, I don't care about Kyle O'Reilly, honestly, to be fair. And as evidenced by Friday, I already knew that you don't care about Kyle O'Reilly either, really. But then we learned your feelings about Adam Cole, too. So it's like, I can't blame you for not really caring too much about this match when you're not invested in either of the people. For me, it was more interesting just based on the idea that you have all these rumors circulating as to what Adam Cole's going to do, if he's going to stay, if he's going to go. Even at one point, he used the lockjaw in the match. So it's like, is that you tipping your hand there? Is that, that's kind of interesting. Maybe are you tipping your hand, or are you just kind of working with it to kind of like tease people and be like, oh, you think you can guess where I'm going, but not so much. So there's, what's going on with that. That's interesting. There's all kinds of other things. It's just the story around it was kind of more interesting than the actual match itself.
Yeah. Now, if he had come out to the Clash, should I stay or should I go? That would have been a fucking troll.
Here you go.
Should I stay or should I go now? You know that song, right?
I do.
That's right. If I go, there will be trouble. If I stay, there will be double.
I have to admit, I'm not a fan, though. I do know this song.
Of The Clash?
And well, that song in particular, there's just certain songs that just have been overplayed for me, that it just, I've heard them so many times. That
don't like the little band of Jewish guys, do you, Smark?
Oh, that's how we're going to play this.
Don't like when they speak.
When you stack this on top of my anti-Goldberg comments, you're really painting me into a corner here.
Don't like when they speak the Hebrew? Huh?
Yeah, well, Well, I didn't know that they spoke the Hebrew. Do they have, they have Hebrew songs?
Listen to Rock the Casbah,
Ah, that's what that is. Okay, that makes sense. I just honestly, I never bothered to look up the lyrics, but there's just a lot of parts in that song that are just unintelligible to me, and that's why. All right, good.
Read the lyrics, actually. It's pretty, and then look them up. Pretty cool what they say. So, anyway, let's just move on from those two, because I'm not bitching about Adam Cole at all, or Kyle O'Reilly. It's just my personal opinion, and I just felt that whole Undisputed Era was a bunch of plug and play guys to me. And I mean, I see a lot of people putting Cole over. Oh my God, if he leaves, it's going to be a devastating blow to NXT. I think a more devastating blow to NXT would be if fucking Ciampa left.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is I think it's just a matter of, like, I feel like AEW could potentially use him better than WWE could. And like, okay, it's not that they didn't use him well. They had him win the belt. But the thing is that just he had been in NXT for a very long time, and there was no sort of indication that he was going to move up to the main roster. So after a while, you see the same people, the same person, and sort of the same feuds, the same matches, just over and over again, just continuously going after the belt. And after a while, they sort of just it loses its luster, I think. Yeah. So seeing him in a different environment and having more people to work with and more things that he can do, I feel like it would showcase his talent a little bit better. And, he might get over a little bit better than he had in the past, I think.
He may. Then again, I got a feeling he's going to stick where he's at right now. I don't know. He may not.
I really don't. I mean, it's hard to, nobody knows right now. But I kind of stick with the theory of just the whole Twitch thing, of him not wanting to give up Twitch. And then I don't think that they're not going to pay him more money to stay on NXT. And I don't feel like they're going to want to deal with other people being not that they really give a fuck. They wipe their ass with what you think about them as a company, or if you're upset, the morale, they care not a bit about it. But I don't think that they want to invite that into their locker room, where you have a bunch of other people that are there that aren't allowed to do Twitch anymore, i.e. like Zelina Vega, but but then he's allowed to as an exception. So it's like, why does he get preferential treatment? Not everybody, but big people in that company do get preferential treatment. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, but that. Okay, so why did Brock get to wear a Jimmy John shirt, for all those years, and then CM Punk tries to get a fucking sponsor, and they tell him go fuck yourself?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Brock definitely comes to mind. Is that there's going to be people that get preferential treatment there. That there in some instances too. There's preferential treatment at AEW as well, but I just don't think that they're going to want to invite extra drama that's going to bring. If they they bring him up, they let him keep his Twitch channel, but then they tell other people that you can't do this or you can't do that.
Oh no, and I'm not agreeing with that mentality at all. I'm kind of going devil's advocate, obviously, here, but no, I don't know, man. And you're right, no one knows where he's going to go, but I guess in time we'll see. Either way, it's a nice little something to talk about. Nice little piece of conversation, Smark.
Yeah, allegedly the contract is up Friday. They keep moving the bar, so who knows? Because before it was after SummerSlam. Now they're saying in the Observer that it's Friday. Some reports, depending on who you ask, who you believe in, are saying that there hasn't even been a new contract offered. So who knows? And just kind of pick your news site of choice and choose to believe or not believe what they say until it is proven otherwise.
Yeah, I guess so. Weeb's in the chat. What's up, Weebs? And I saw Dirk in here. He'll come back in like 10 minutes. He pops in and pops out, pops in, pops out. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he's always in and out of our chat.
That's right. He likes going in and out. It's his thing.
Up and down and in and out, back and forth. And anyway, we had the last match here, the main event of the NXT Takeover, which was Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross. I kind of expected this match to be a little longer. I got to tell you, I mean, I really did. Although I think I did. We both pick Joe to win this.
Yes,
I thought so. I thought we did. I'm glad you remember Friday, because obviously there were shots coming in, and I was drinking beer with those shots.
I feel like I got about 2 right for SummerSlam, because I had no faith that they would book a somewhat intelligent show, and they swerved me by making the right choice on a lot of things that were the obvious and correct way, but they ended up following that path, which is not what they normally do. I was a little bit surprised because I was watching it after the fact, like after it had already aired, and when it got to main event time, like the bell, like there was about 15 minutes left. And I was like, this is going to be really fucking short. Like, these guys aren't going to have any time. And then after the match was over, I was like, yeah, they had the exact right amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't go on a second too long. It wasn't a second too short. Joe, having been injured for about a year or so, they were saying his first match back, they didn't make him do too much, and they still had a good match. It was still like nice and violent. And, no stone was left unturned, I don't think.
No, and I like that, Joe would get a lot of offense in, or not a lot. He would get a little bit of offense in, and, Cross would just come back. And, if Joe hit him twice, Cross would hit him 5 times. I really thought this was a good match between these two. And you're right, dude. Look, you're probably more right than I said. I did expect this match to be longer, but as you said, once the match was over, I'm like, yeah, this match didn't need any more time.
Right.
It really didn't need any more time. It was a fine match. Samoa Joe did win, obviously, like we said. I think it was kind of obvious. I mean, with Karrion Kross, what they were doing with him, they switched all the shit with him. They took Scarlett away from him.
Which, by the by, that was a real tease, because there was some reports that he was supposed to get her back for that match. And then they, dimmed the lights. They did the black and white camera filter. They started playing the song, and I was like, oh, all right, well, things are back to normal. And then he came up by himself, just looking sad.
Well, let's stop taking news from podcasts.
Nah.
I'll just
They have proven to not be reputable sources.
let me just put it that way. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool though. So we had Joe winning that right there. Let's see here, Smark. There was only a few things I wanted to get into about actual NXT. Do you want to just jump right into that?
Well, let's do it.
All right, we can do that. Then we'll touch on Raw, hit the news, and end on AEW. If we don't get to AEW, if it gets too late by any chance, we'll just get to it Friday. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. They did crown the winner of the breakout tournament, Smark, Tuesday night.
That's right.
That's right. Carmelo Hayes. Saw a lot in this guy. Still see a lot in this guy. Obviously, they do too. Think he's got a big future. I think that was the right move. I think it was kind of going that way. That Odyssey Jones guy, man, he's going to be another fucking big star for that company. Why?
I was actually really surprised, because I thought for sure it seemed like they were telegraphing it that he was going to be the one that won that match. So when Carmelo Hayes actually won it, like, it didn't even register for a minute there, because it was like, oh, yeah, all right, he got the roll up and a 3 count, and he kicked out after 3. Wait, no, he didn't. No, you can't kick out after 3. What the fuck? He won? Really? Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, I was genuinely surprised by just the fact that they actually gave it to Carmelo Hayes, because it seemed like you keep hearing all these reports about they want to get bigger, they want to get stronger. He's somebody that definitely fits that mold of this big, strong guy with kind of not a lot of prior wrestling, if any, experience, because they talked about him being a college football guy. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the route that they went down getting him. He's a charismatic guy, mm-hmm. but he needs to work on his promos. Like, he has natural charisma, but actually doing the promos, because they did the interview with him, because they interviewed him. They interviewed Carmelo Hayes. I was confusing him with Cameron Grimes for some reason. Anyways, but when they're talking to Odyssey Jones, like, he kept doing what he thought like a wrestler should do during a promo. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of times where he just kept laughing after what he said. He was like, "I'm going to show the world that I can win this tournament." And it's like, okay, just dial it down a little bit.
Or just keep doing it.
Yeah, just nervous laughter after everything. He could be a good heel that way, I guess.
Like when Ricky Bobby won his first race and he didn't know what to do with his hands, and he's just got to do with my hands. Remember, did you ever see that movie? Talladega Nights.
Be a cool gimmick, other than the fact that I don't trust that they would make him look like a complete moron. Is if you just have him like learn. He keeps looking into the wrong camera, so they have to show him which one the right camera is. And just have all these segments where like he will learn how to be an actual wrestler. That'd be interesting, I guess.
Yeah, could be. So, all right. So again, obviously, I think that was a good move. I think this Weave says that Carmelo Hayes is the illegitimate son of Michael Hayes. Oh,
And
don't
Mendez.
don't put that storyline past them. Kurt Angle.
They used Michael Hayes not too long ago. He was part of the October shows, the whole Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis feud.
Don't put that past them to do shit like that. Absolutely not. But there you go. So Carmelo Hayes. Like I said, but first time I saw him, I liked. I'm not sure who he was on the Indies or if he was an Impact or anything, but there you go. There you go.
Right.
We do have a wedding coming up for NXT Smark.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't talk about this last week, but I am so excited for this because I don't know. It's formulaic as shit, but it's like I just enjoy the like kind of cheesiness and it's sort of a timeless quality because it like started in the 80s and it's still going. The wrestling wedding, where like it kind of plays out the same way every time, but much like slasher movies, I'm still down to watch it.
You know, Gargano's coming out to ruin this shit. Absolutely. 100%. This is going to get ruined by Gargano.
He's so fucking good.
Index,
I love that part. He's in Regal's office and they have like a 5-minute argument over the proper way to pronounce banana. Like I could understand if you're just strictly into wrestling and you don't want any of the extra bullshit, how that could be annoying to you, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Gargano's great, man. And this character, you know, this whole, as, you know, Antox used to put it, the old Disney villains. I know where Antox is. I know where.
You have a very special set of skills. Has he been taken? Do we need to get him back? Nah. Salamonster, you son of a bitch, we're coming for you.
That's exactly where he's at, actually. He gets mentioned.
It's probably where Dirk is. We need to get our Salamonster, give us our men back.
Dirk listens to everybody. Dirk is like a little fucking podcast hoa. He just fucking goes, he checks out this show, he comes back to our show, he goes over to fucking Don Tony, he's listening to Solid, he's listening to everybody. Because both of them have shows tonight.
Yes,
right now,
he's an aficionado. I can dig it.
Right now. So he's just, you know, a little podcast hooah.
Anytime you say Don Tony, I will forever remember one very particular moment in which you remember what I'm quoting, but just 20 minutes of this guy being lit up was amazing. We didn't do it. It was somebody else.
Nope.
They deserve all the credit in the world, but
it wasn't us, but that was a fun after show that night. I do remember that, actually. And I know who you're talking about. Absolutely do. But Gargano's fucking awesome, man. He really is. And this whole little, you know, like I said, this Disney, I really wasn't into it when they started this whole The Way thing. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was ridiculous. The name was awful. But, man, did they really just fall into those fucking characters. And I liked the characters before. You know, I actually liked the whole crazy camera shit they were doing back, you know, when they were kind of doing the whole little twist and then, oh yeah, this is what I think. And it was, I like that shit.
He is, for what they need and what they want out of their people, he is extremely versatile.
Oh yeah.
Because he can do the comedy thing, he can do serious thing, he can get over as a face, he can get over as a heel, and his character in particular can lose.
Oh yeah.
Like he can take a couple of losses and still not really hurt his reputation at him. So like he can do pretty much anything that they would want him to do, which I feel like makes him just ridiculously invaluable to them.
I would think so too, man. So hopefully that's what you want to be. You want to be, you know, indisposable when most people are disposable in this company. So that's what you want to be. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll on. The last thing I want to get into is Legado del Fantasma added Elektra Lopez to their little crew, which I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
I was really surprised because up until this point, I really enjoyed this show. And I really enjoyed this match, but it felt like they for whatever. It's every once in a while I'll watch a show and just feel like it was almost kind of booked for me, because I was sitting there thinking that the whole kind of feud and story has been based on BFAT, the female member of Hit Row, kind of being the equalizer, sort of the one that ends up swinging things in the favor for Hit Row. Because there's been a couple of segments where she's gotten physical with some of the Phantasma members. And the thing that was kind of frustrating about that, though, was just that it's sort of the Stephanie McMahon situation of, like, that they can't touch her, so you don't ever get to see her get her comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that but then I started kind of trying to calculate what kind of female that they could put with them. And she actually, believe it or not, she was the first person that came to my mind. Because she was only on NXT once, I believe once, but she stuck out for various reasons. I don't wish to explain, but she left an impression on me at the very least.
Where did she
stick? Like, hey,
where did she stick out, Smark?
In all the right places.
Absolutely, sir.
You got it. So I was like, yeah, we haven't seen her in a while, and I'd like to see her every day. But just, again, I guess is more appropriate. And then lo and behold, I was like, yeah, they could put her with them. And then lo and behold, out she comes, like minutes later, with a fucking lead pipe. And oh my God, she waylaid her. Like if that was worked, she did it really well because it sounded great and she sold it great. It looked like it hurt.
She was laying the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
She was laying the pipe in, man. That's what you do. You got to lay that pipe in there.
Right. I was a little bit surprised though, which I don't want to completely gloss over that. It is very important to lay the pipe. Dirk would know. Dirk's back with us. But yeah, I was kind of surprised because it seemed like they're both kind of heels, I guess. But in this particular instance, I feel like the fans were supposed to be cheering for Hit Row. But for whatever reason, they were like the bad guys. Like the fans, at least in NXT or the Capitol Wrestling Center or whatever, were very much against them. Like even just throughout this feud and during the match. But like there was when Santos Escobar stole Swerve's teeth, they cheered him. When Swerve burned Escobar's mask, they booed Swerve. Even though he was like getting revenge for something that had happened to him, he was totally in the right, but they still booed him. So for whatever reason, the crowd was like definitely behind the Phantasma stables. So that was interesting. And I will just say, like I said, we're kind of trying to get through this quickly, but I would definitely recommend that match was great. And I would recommend everybody checking out SmackDown because I feel like with the exception of that like Boa match, I guess, there was no real bad moments. Like all the matches were good because you had Thatcher versus Ridge Holland at the beginning. That was good. Like everything, all the matches that they had were good. And there was not a lot of like unneeded bullshit. Like everything that like happened needed to happen. Everything told the story. There was not a lot of fluff or filler. It was a really good show, I thought.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I can't disagree with you one bit there. Now, laying the pipe reminded me of something. There was this band that me and all my buddies used to go see called Collapsing Lungs. They actually had a song called Lay That Pipe. Pretty good shit. There was like 30 of them that would jump around the fucking stage. We used to go see them at the Edge. Pretty cool shit, man. But yeah, they actually had a song called Lay That Pipe. And it was about exactly what you would think it was.
Very nice.
There it was. So there you go. Just decided to think of that. I mean, I could play it, but probably shouldn't. I mean, at this point, I need to remake our... Oh, here's something. I need to remake our intro, Smark. You know why?
Why is that?
Our formerly non-copyright, royalty-free song was bought by a company called CD Baby. You know what CD Baby does? I go out there and look for fucking those exact songs, and then what they do is they buy them for pretty much not much money at all, and then they just decide to go around and hit people with copyright strike until they stop using it. So,
like lovely people.
So now I need to go find another song and redo our intro, which I'll get done in the next couple weeks here. But I just noticed they were doing it on YouTube. So I've disputed it like 4 times. And now I can't find the song because it looks like they've taken it off and put it under their library. So if we don't change our intro, we're fucked.
One of us is just gonna have to like scat sing an intro. It's our show.
I like it.
That's it.
Skiddly bop boopy deep boop boop boo. All right. I like it.
Just like maybe me scatting or humming, and then there's like 5-minute audio of you just like bashing like Mike Johnson and Braun Strowman and just various other people that have wronged you in the past.
Well, that's a different kind of scat right there. You like that one?
By the by, real quick, there's that guy Scatman John, who did the Scatman song, and he had an album called Scatman World. And I was listening to somebody review this, and he was like, "Do not type that into Google. Do not."
No. Yeah, definitely certain things you shouldn't type into Google. Man, I forgot we had audio for something. So what I'm going to do is just not even worry about it. Because it was way back, and I'm not going to go back and play it. How's that sound? So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Just want to try to trim down a few things here, Smark. Let's get in a Raw real quick. Let me see where we're at here. I don't even know how much time we've had. Oh, we're only at 1:37. We're doing all right, Smark.
Yeah.
Because as usual, I don't have a ton to talk about on Raw. Like I said, I didn't see a ton of the stuff. Unfortunately, I decided to go watch the Logan Paul appearance.
Which is great. Because this is like one of the first instances of the fans not reacting in the way that they had hoped. Because for whatever reason, anytime you're a celebrity now, they just automatically, because they want you to work with them and be affiliated with them, you're automatically the face. So Logan Paul comes out and he's supposed to be the face, and all the people are booing him. Just
the whole time, the whole segment, they booed him. And you know, you're right, dude. WWE is so out of touch with reality that they don't understand who their fans are.
Right.
You know, the whole it's funny. They sit there and tell you to hate the Hollywood thing, basically, because it's taking these wrestlers from you. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, just listen to some of the promos. They're telling you, oh, you should, you know, all you do is go to Hollywood. You're not here living the life. You know, this is my home. They shit on Hollywood, and then they're like, hey, we got a Hollywood star. And you're like, well, you just, dude, fuck those guys. They're taking wrestlers from us. And they're like, no, you gotta love him. No, you gotta love him.
That's actually a really good point that I hadn't considered, because it's just the idea of they want to be in bed with Hollywood so much, and they want to be as socially relevant as they had hoped. They push for that so hard that they want to be part of the pop culture society, whatever, however you want to look at it. But then at the same time, they tell you that these people are like terrible for leaving. So it's like,
yeah, they imagine that they contradict themselves. But yeah, I'm not the biggest Logan Paul fan. I actually think he's not a bad fighter. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd like to see him in there against a few guys that I could name, but that's neither here nor there.
I keep forgetting Tyrone Wheatley, I believe, is fighting one of them, but I forget which one it is.
Yeah, I don't
know if that does anything for you, but
not really. I'd like to see. I mean, like I said, there's a few guys I'd like to see him go up against, but let's not get into that. I saw the Eva Marie thing. She attacked Dewdrop, which I'm wondering if now that they're kind of, I mean, they've been teasing this for a few weeks now, but are they going to keep Dewdrop as Dewdrop? They did trademark the name. Or are they going to let her go back to Piper? I mean, not that I don't give a shit what they do. I mean, we all know who she is. We all know what she can do. So who gives a shit? But just wondering, what do you think, Smark?
Real quick, it was the other Paul. It's Jake Paul that he's fighting. And it's actually Tyrone Woodley.
Tyrone Woodley.
Not Tyrone Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley is a former football player. So there you go. That's interesting.
This is why we're doing draft day, Smark, because you know these football things.
That's right. There you go. 10 seasons in the NFL. Um,
Oh.
so, anywho, to go back to what you're saying, it does seem like they're gonna split them up. But then the whole thing is sort of weird because like she was mad from the very get-go that Eva Marie was calling her Dewdrop, but then now she's like, well, but I still want to be known as Dewdrop now. Like I'm gonna split from her, but it's my name now, and I kind of like it. It's like, well, what the fuck was the point then? Like, that's kind of maybe I missed things by not watching only watching the Hulu version, but like outside of just giving her this ridiculous name, I'm not seeing what Eva Marie has been doing to her that's been so bad. Because, like, for whatever reason, she's supposed to be the bad person. She's supposed to be mistreating her, but I don't think we really see it,
Right.
other than just maybe having her like wrestle in place of her. But I mean, that's it. Like, there's no real instances of her like talking shit or being mean to her or anything like that. But she's just supposed to be the bad guy. I don't get that.
Well,
Oh, and by the by, real quick, that fucking match she had against Alexa at SummerSlam was god awful. She has not improved at all, and I wonder why she's there.
well, Eva Marie is both Bellas put together.
Yes.
I'm.
They at least improve though. Like she like looks like the least athletic person on that roster.
Yeah, but then Brie came back and almost killed herself twice. So let's not go too. Let's not go too far here, Smark.
Well, I said improved. I didn't say get better. I just.
Oh, now we're going with wordplay, are we, Smark?
Well, from being god awful to just being like bad it's an improvement.
All right, I get it.
Like,
I get it.
Great Khali is kind of well. I don't know if I want to make that
It's
comparison. I was going to compare him to Giant Gonzalez, but Giant Gonzalez I think had a longer career, so I think he's probably the better of the two.
I think he did. El Gigante, correct? Yeah.
El Gigante.
El Gigante, yes. All right, let's. You know what? There wasn't really much. I mean, like I said, besides the whole Miz Morrison thing, there's not really anything else besides Karrion Kross, which we're definitely going to get into. Miz and Morrison. I mean, again. We talked about this already, so we don't really need to get into it anymore. So let's get into the Karrion Kross thing, Smart.
Yes.
Karrion Kross would you say re-debuted in WWE, or how do you? I'm not even sure how to put that.
Well, at one point when describing SmackDown, because you had not watched an episode of SmackDown a couple weeks ago, and you threw to me to recap it, and I used the phrase "Edge is back still." I feel like Karrion Kross debuted still, or debuted again is a good way to put that, I guess. Okay. He's back for the first time.
He is. He came out in a mask, and
yes, he did.
And suspenders, and I got the whole Roman numeral, the whole TikTok time, blah blah blah, time is running with the X across it, no time is out. I got that. That wasn't my problem. I'm not even gonna say I have a problem with this. Why does this remind me of Tensai?
I heard it described as being kind of like the Sultan. Like, if you remember back in the day, Rikishi's gimmick prior to being Rikishi. I don't know why prior is so fucking hard today. But previous to being Rikishi, he was the Sultan. Right. And he had this, like, for whatever reason, he had the Iron Sheik was his manager, and he had, this sort of Middle Eastern type of costume and mask that he would wear, and kind of reminded me a little bit of that, or like kind of just a cheaply made like high school drama gladiator outfit. It was just, it was not good.
No, I'm really not liking what. I think the mask is ridiculous. Let's call it unnecessary. First of all, I'm not sure what they're doing here. I don't. give it. I hear. Give it time. Give it time. Okay, I'll give it time. And I mean, I know he didn't wrestle in it, but the outfit was awful. I'm sorry, it's just not good. He's in trunks and suspenders.
Right. Yes, it was not a good look.
I mean, it's just not a good look at all, Smark. It's bad. I mean, I hate to say, but it's laughable. It really is. I saw a lot of people comparing it to Demolition. I didn't think so, man. I mean, this is like when this reminds me of Tensai, and I don't understand why. I got no reasoning behind it, but remember when, Albert came out as Tensai?
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly it flopped like a motherfucker?
Yes. Well, they had him go over Cena. And he was spitting the mist. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, they wanted this character to be huge, but went over like a fucking lead balloon.
What exactly is this character, Smart? Can you help me? I mean, I know he went in there. He was dominant against Ricochet. Christopher Kane with the red velvet is hot. I can't deny that statement. Just thought I'd throw that out there because it popped up on my screen here. That is a fact, sir. That is a fact. She is hot. I just don't know what they're going with here. What is this character? Am I missing something? Do I not know something? Am I too old? Am I too young? I don't know what I am here. I don't know what this is, Smart.
I feel like we've talked about the Renaissance Fair a lot on the show recently for ungodly known reason. But I feel like it's somebody who works at the Renaissance Fair, but it's also into BDSM. And that's just like, this is the end result of that. I don't get it either. It doesn't make any sense. However, this actually gives me a little bonus aside. I didn't send this to you, but I will never miss an opportunity to quote my personal hero, one Andrew Zarian, who says, quote, spoke to a source, could be literally fucking anybody, regarding Karrion Kross's new ring gear. His response, everything and everyone must be marketable. Toys, shirts, imaging, and accessories. You need to stand out and sell, and this is how they sell. Which, I mean, like I said, could be literally fucking anybody, but that does seem like that's what's going on here. It's like, Dirk would be able to kind of appreciate this, and a lot of people, because a lot of people even in the chat room grew up on like sort of 70s, 80s cartoons. You know how they would just like introduce like arbitrary characters just for the sake of like selling extra toys? Like, this is what this seems like, where it's like this look doesn't make any sense, but this look is like going to work as an action figure or something.
Well, maybe. And you know what? I actually, believe it or not, have the same picture of that here, and I forgot to send it to you, Smark. So look at that. I do have that, and I see Mr. Zarian here, who has suddenly found fame in the wrestling industry. And I get it. I get everything must be marketable. I totally get that. So you're telling me every single wrestler you have, everyone, marketable. You've got toys and shirts and imaging for every one of them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go look for my Ali shirt tomorrow and my Mansoor shirt. Are they not marketable? They don't have the everything and everyone's, Mark.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if they had a bunch of Mansoor-related gear. And I'm not even saying that because I think he's a particularly good wrestler, but he is definitely being used to appeal to that market that they're trying to captivate or cultivate so much.
I'm going to have to see WWEshop.com. I'm going. Give me a minute here. I'm typing. There it goes. I'm going to type in Mansoor. I mean, there's plenty of actual The Man shirts for sale right here. Let me go to search. Mansoor. Mansoor, correct?
I believe so. It might only be one O, but try two first.
OOR. Mansoor. Mm-hmm. I mean, it'll come up with either no. Oh, look at that. There's one T-shirt for marked down from $27.99 to $20.99. Okay. All right. So there you go. Where's his toys or his accessories? I'm looking for those. Let's see where those are. Let's see. No toys. No. Oh, look, one item. That's it. Okay. Let's go with Ali. Does Ali have any out here? Let's go with Ali. Ali. Let's just type in Ali. Let's see. Does he have anything? Huh. Oh, he does too. Sure. Oh, the glove. He's got the replica glove. And again, all his stuff marked down. Every single one of them. You can actually get an Ali t-shirt right now for $9.95 if you're a woman.
Mm.
Yep.
Or just a very in shape man.
Yeah. Or if you could be that too.
Now this is a fun game that I feel like you have inadvertently concocted.
Okay.
Where I will now scour their t-shirt section and find the most obscure wrestler that they're selling a t-shirt for.
I'm just saying. I mean, look, it's a great thing to say. It really this almost sounds like something Nick Khan would put out in an email. If anyone tells you to say this, this is what you need to say, which kind of is going to bring me a little bit to. Well, you know what? We've talked about everything, Smark. So why don't we get to that? Give me a minute here. Let me pull this up. Yeah, you know what? I can skip the rest here. I got a couple things left for Raw, but I'm just going to go ahead and dump them. No one gives a shit. Raw did score a great audience though of the back up in the twos, 2.067 million. We'll just throw that out there real fast. But Nick Khan, man, I'll tell you, this guy's fucking starting to get out there, Smark.
Mm-hmm.
Really get himself out there. Now, he did an interview with Ariel Helwani.
Yes.
It's about a 23 minute interview. In the interview, I can't believe the people that lost their mind over this statement. I don't know if you saw this.
We've got one.
Uh-oh.
We've got one.
Who?
There are multiple Drew Gulak t-shirts, which I hate to do it to the man because I like him. But the way that they have presented and marketed him and the fact that he hasn't been on TV for seemingly months, why would anybody want to buy a Drew Gulak t-shirt? There's also Bronson Reed t-shirts that they're still selling. There's an Angel Garza t-shirt, which unless you're selling it to me, I question who's going to buy it because you don't use the man for anything. There's a DDP t-shirt, which seems weird because obviously. But yeah, there's all kinds of some honky-tonk man merchandise. Humberto Carrillo, that's interesting. There's all kinds of wrestlers that you wouldn't expect that have t-shirts.
Well, if you really want some deals.
Kyle O'Reilly t-shirt box. And an LA Knight t-shirt. Wow. Your stocking is going to be stuffed this year, my friend.
Well, I could use something to start the fire in the burn barrel.
Mark Henry t-shirts still.
Whoa.
They'll sell anybody's shit. They don't care if you junk ship.
Dude, they got a pair of Bray Wyatt Yowie Wowie Zubaz.
Ooh. Are they on sale?
Yes, from $34.99, which, let me explain something here. Zubaz are $40.
Come get your Mercedes Martinez merchandise. She's been fired for like a month now.
I have a pair on now. These are $40 a piece, these pants.
Full price for the Mercedes Martinez t-shirt.
Oh, no. $26.24. I am telling the wife to order these motherfuckers. I'm not lying. Because that's a great deal for Zubaz. $26? Absolutely great fucking deal. Anyway, let's get out of this.
Okay, absolute last one. There's a Noam Dar t-shirt.
Oh, Jesus. Who?
For $27.
Who?
I believe he's on NXT UK. He was used for some of those British tournaments that they did. But
I remember him. I do. I actually do. Anyway, Nick Khan, who, by the way, this is the first picture I've seen of him on Facebook. He looks like if Michael Buffer let himself go a lot.
I'm sorry, one more time. Who is this guy?
I'm sorry, Nick Khan. Bruce Buffer. I'm sorry.
Bruce Buffer. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Bruce Buffer let himself. Not Michael. Bruce. Now, he did an interview with, again, Ariel Helwani, who mostly covers MMA.
Right.
And people lost their mind over this comment. In a recent interview with Ariel Helwani of BT Sport, WWE President Nick Khan said that he feels Raw will benefit from an additional fourth hour and is currently working on adding the fourth hour. First of all, I got to tell, that's not what he said. That is not what he said. So I do want to start with this was the first article that I saw, and I saved this on the 23rd. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 2 days ago. What he really said was, yeah, we would definitely benefit from a fourth hour of Raw. Man, if I had my choice, I would make SmackDown 8 hours. But that's not realistic. It was pretty much in jest the way he said it.
See, you say that, but like I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
No.
Like I am too busy just being filled with existential dread over the idea of like a 4-hour Raw or an 8-hour SmackDown.
It's not gonna happen, man. They can't do it. First of all, I'm telling you now, if you saw a 4-hour Raw, that fourth hour would be dormant of ratings. I think they know it too. 8 hours SmackDown, oh fuck that, dude. Dormant of fucking ratings. No.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out like that couldn't happen on Fox. Like, what fucking channel would that be on? It'd be like what, like MTV3 that would be doing this?
You have to, just at that point, you're pay-per-view only.
Mm-hmm.
Or just use your Peacock.
Yes,
they'd go straight to Peacock. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's exactly where they would go. Which, by the way, SummerSlam had very good viewership on Peacock, according to all the news things out there. Reportedly the most viewed and highest grossing in its history, they are saying, with this SummerSlam's mark.
See, that's interesting, because I wonder what that metric actually is. Is it like compared to other shows on Peacock, or compared to other events that they've had on Peacock?
Well, they're tying this into more. They're tying this into global viewership, gate receipts, indoor attendance, merchandise sales, sponsorships, and social engagement. Now, when they say in history, let's remember one thing. Everything's different now. They have a different way of marketing. They have a different way of doing everything. So
I mean, just inflation, like the fact that like the tickets cost more now than they did, during the first SummerSlam. You could be like, well, it sold 8 times more. It's like, yeah, because it was more. It's more expensive now. It's not really a big deal.
Very true. Everything is, but I mean, this was a big show, and I got to tell you, man, this was a big weekend for wrestling, and I'm not gonna put this whole weekend on CM Punk, but I got to tell you, I think CM Punk got a lot of people fired up to watch some wrestling Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And again, I'm not sitting here going, CM Punk made this whole weekend great for every company. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think he just got a lot of people fired up that maybe weren't ready to watch wrestling or had already gotten burned out. My God, by then there was already enough and people were fucking dreading the weekend, some people. But I think CM Punk might have got some people fired up and ready to fucking watch wrestling, because that was an amazing thing Friday night, which I actually went back and watched because we had the volume so low, we didn't really get to hear that pop for him.
Right. Yeah, I would watch it as well.
That was fucking amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. And Smark, I sent you a little thing. Did you watch that video earlier that I posted on Messenger?
I have not yet. Sorry.
It was a video of that night when CM Punk came out Friday night, and it was a video of the production. Now, I got to tell you something. As many jobs I've done that are fucking stupid, ridiculous, I would never do them again. This job for this production guy is absolutely ridiculous. I have no clue how he does it. Even... Hold your fucking horses here, everybody, because even Jim Cornette had to say how great that video was. I'm trying to find it. Where was it? I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is right here. Unique, and they AEW put this out, and someone had tweeted it, and I guess they tagged Cornette. They did tag Cornette, and it said, "Unique look at AEW's TV coming out party. NBA arena full of fans, a real wrestling star, and great production. First time they've had all four at the same time." Listen to director Tim Walbert, veteran of WrestleManias, call this. "This is why I love being in the truck. It's an art." Even Cornette had to praise AEW once again.
He literally said in regards to this that it wasn't what he would have done. It was better. And I read that and I was like, do we need to check on him? Does he have something?
Well, I mean, look, I'll be honest. It's a 7-minute video. But I'm going to play you a little bit of the beginning. I'll play like 2.5, maybe 3 minutes of it. It really is amazing. And I'll also post it. I'll get the link and post it in the chat here, because this is something, if you haven't seen this whole video, watch it. It'll give you a new respect for, when Warrior was coming out and talking about the guys in the back, this is what the Warrior Award should be about. This makes you think about that, what these guys really do. Without the guys in the truck, there would be no show. There would be no show. There would be nothing. And this video and just the audio will make you understand what's going on. The audio is the gentleman that, what's his name? Tim Walbert or whatever he said. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and rock it. Here we go. Oh, here we go.
What's up? You're going to see some shit tonight. Put X on the line. Track it X. Here we go. Stand by to roll X. First pyro is 5. Dano, you have me? Okay. 5 to 6. Once I clear you, JT, you set for your push to the announcers.
15.
Right before
9, 8,
AEW went on air.
7, 6.
It's a bit unprofessional
5,
that he's furiously
4,
masturbating while he's doing this based on those creepy
2,
voices.
Oh, wait.
1. Roll X.
Boom. AEW's on
Keying
air.
off to 5. Stand by your pyro. Keying off to 5. Stand by your effect to 5. Stand by to hit your pyro. And here we go. And effect. Hit your pyro. Go. Ready 6. Take 6. Go. Ready 7 with bot 1. And take 7. Hit bot 1. Go. Read it. Ready to undercut 8. Undercut 8. No signs, Mark. Not yet. Ready to undercut 4. Undercut 4. Big wide. Ready to undercut 5. Undercut 5. One more, Brent.
Telling them which cameras to hit
7.
here.
Undercut 7. Ready to undercut 2. Undercut 2. Light him up. Ready to dissolve 6. And ready to dissolve 6. He already did. Ready to dissolve 6 clean. Ready to take 8 under. Ready to dissolve 6 clean on camera. And dissolve 6 clean. Go to him. Big wide again, Brent. Super wide. No ring. No ring. So actually, no, you can give me a little ring. Add font 1. Read it. Ready to lose the font. Lose the font. Ready to dissolve 7. And dissolve 7.
All right. You know what? We'll pause it there and then we'll play a little more for you. How's that? Now, yes, he's breathing hard, Smark. He is. But listen to what, this guy just literally, he's telling everyone which pyro to hit, which camera to hit, which this to hit. And that's just the intro. Dude, this, think about this. We're 2:06 in, and that's the intro.
Yes.
That's the intro. That's it.
I am genuinely curious if that is indeed how the sausage is made, and that's a kind of universal thing. what it has to be like with fucking Kevin Dunn in there. As many cuts as they make, because I can't even imagine what that would have to be like. It fucking seems like it'd be an exorcism of him just screaming numbers: 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, just over and over again.
Well, I'm sure it's even more annoying when his teeth hit the microphone.
Jesus, yeah, you go through a lot of microphones. That.
What do you say there, Bucky Beaver?
Just stress eating a microphone during a show.
All right, let's play a little more because obviously
just have to hit him with a broom to get him to stop gnawing on the fucking microphone.
All right, let's play more. Obviously, Punk is coming out now, so let's go ahead and rock a little more of this.
Take 8, ready 5, take 5, ready 4, take 4, ready 8, take 8, ready 7, take 7, go! Ready 3.
Listen to that shit. Listen to that shit.
Ready 9, take 9. Ready 6, ready 7, take 7. Ready 10, take 10. Slowly, Billy. Count it out. Here's out now. There you go. Ready 2, take 2. Ready 8, take 8. Ready 10, 10. Ready 6, show the audience 2, JT. Ready 6. Ready 8, 9, take 9. Ready 10, take 10. Ready 4. Ready dissolve 7. Dissolve 7, push. Ready dissolve 10. Ready dissolve 10. Keep going, keep going. Ready dissolve 10. Dissolve 10. Ready dissolve 4. Ready dissolve 8.
I think that's enough. All those dissolves are when you're watching and the camera switches. So you're right, Smark. WWE and their crazy camera switching. Imagine how many just numbers flying out of the air. Excuse me, that hit isn't going down good. Numbers flying out of the air from Kevin Dunn because their camera angles are ridiculously. The switches are crazy.
Right.
But man, does this really? I mean, this gives us a different look at what that camera truck is like, man. And obviously, like, you know, Cornette said, this guy has dealt with a few WrestleManias, so he knows what he's doing. And man, I talk about a job I wouldn't want in my life. This one. You're responsible for everything. One thing fucks up. Guess who they're coming to?
Sure.
And again, like I said, you know, when Warrior said all the guys in the back, the production guys, this and that, this should give you a little, you know, peek back there and a little bit of respect for what Warrior was saying about these guys.
No, just all of it. Like, you know, there's so many extra people that we don't see or necessarily think about. You know, they have people that design all the attires. You have the people that do the makeup. You have all the trainers and medical staff and just all these people that do all these jobs you don't necessarily always think about. There's a lot that goes into shit like this.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Absolutely crazy. But it was just really cool to, you know, I was watching that video today at work when I was watching it at lunch. But I was just like, my God, this guy is, and I'm sitting there the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's breathing in the mic. And I'm like, my God, I'd be fucking damn near dying in the mic at this point. Absolutely fucking dying in the mic. But I mean, God damn, what a hard job. But,
I feel like after a while, if you do it for enough times or long enough, you eventually kind of get the hang of it to a certain degree of like knowing exactly what you want at what point and just being able to kind of easily. Because I mean, it's I can kind of imagine it's going to be a very stressful job, but he was kind of hitting it with such ease. You know, like you said, he's been there before. He's done that.
Yeah, and you watch an AEW show and. Man, it comes off great on television, but you just don't realize how much goes into, I mean, just that fucking intro. Holy shit, just that intro, you heard what he was saying. And then, you know, CM Punk comes out and, you know, dissolve this, dissolve that, dissolve, and that's all the camera switching right there going on. Unbelievable. I just thought it was a great video. I wasn't sure if we were going to mention it tonight. Probably didn't have time to do it, but that Rampage with CM Punk, though, saw a big viewership increase, 1.129 million viewers for their Rampage show for that one right there. I think that's a great fucking number. The week before drew 740. I think it's a great number. So, I mean, nothing you can bitch about as far as I'm concerned right there. But the one person, if you guys remember CM Punk's thing we played on Friday night, the one person who didn't care for that, I believe, was Booker T.
He didn't dig it?
No, he did not, Smart. No, he did not at all. Booker T said, CM Punk is back, man. And I got a chance to witness the return of CM Punk. I really did, Booker said. I don't know. You guys out there that are big AEW fans, you guys agree to disagree with me. But me, I'm always telling it like it is. Y'all know that. And I'm going to tell it like it is on this one right here as well. I want all the listeners, I need you guys to challenge me on this one. I'm begging you to challenge me on what I'm talking about. CM Punk came back and he had 10 full television minutes to go out there and make his point as far as CM Punk being back. He had the perfect crowd to go out there and really, I'm talking about have a party up in the United Center. But CM Punk came back and took his moment and chose to talk about WWE. That right there was a total miss as far as I'm concerned. He struck out. I can only imagine if The Rock had the same 21,000 in Miami, Florida. The Rock would have talked about every landmark in Miami and that everybody in Miami frequented. He would have had those fans going crazy with excitement. But CM Punk chose to talk about WWE, and that 9 minutes went back so slow when it could have been a party going on in the United Center. So he's telling us to agree to disagree. I'm just going to straight out disagree.
Right.
This is a guy who's been very outspoken about WWE. So outspoken that him and his, good buddy at the time, Colt Cabana, got sued over a podcast. Mm-hmm. That's how outspoken he was about WWE. Booker. I don't know if you remember that. So, yeah, these fans were expecting him to talk about that. They were expecting, I'll tell you the truth, the fact that he only mentioned WWE very quickly and actually didn't say the name WWE, did he? He never did he? No. So he never did. He referenced them. He also referenced ROH, and he referenced other companies. Sometimes Booker T just has a fucking stick up his ass, it seems, or he wakes up on the wrong fucking side of the bed and just has to shit on someone. Absolutely don't think that was the case. I really feel that these fans expected him to say something about WWE. CM Punk is, well, not anymore. He got rid of that term tonight, the voice of the voiceless, and that was exactly what he was that night.
Right.
They expected it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, even to that point, like you said, he didn't even really mention them by name. He just said that he couldn't come back for them, basically. He didn't say their name, but he said that he couldn't come back until he got everything by himself right, until he was mentally, physically, emotionally recovered, and he couldn't do that anywhere else. He couldn't, he couldn't do that there. But he didn't even say WWE. He said he just couldn't do that under, the current circumstances that he was given, basically. He couldn't come back to WWE, long story short. And then he said he mentioned Ring of Honor by name, but he said after he left Ring of Honor, that's when he stopped wrestling. That was when he, his wrestling career ended, basically implying that he went to go be a sports entertainer, I guess. But even so, the references to WWE were very short, very limited. It wasn't like he went on this whole big tirade about how they didn't love him and he was going to show them wrong. He's going to rub their nose in it. He was just like, hey, I wasn't happy there and I couldn't come back to there because I was going to be unhappy. So now I'm here where things might be different.
Right. Yeah, it was. And, he reiterated most of that in the promo tonight, basically saying how this company, isn't holding him back and they got people back there that'll listen to what he says. And I thought tonight was another fucking great night for him and another ridiculous pop for him. Punk is just going to be such a fucking draw for that company. Tony Khan must be just, I mean, he must just go to sleep with a fucking smile on his face every night, man. Just absolutely doing great right now. Absolutely doing fucking great. I mean, Punk also set records for the highest selling design in pro wrestling tees history. The guy's going out there and doing all kinds of shit right now, and this is huge for him, especially.
Right.
I don't think Punk expected this kind of, I don't know, maybe fanfare is the right word for it. I don't think he expected this because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like he did. But man, I'll tell you, everyone is so happy to see him back, see what he can still do, see if he can go out there. And the promo tonight was even better because it made you think, yeah, you're older. Can you still do it?
Right.
We want to see that. Can you still do it? Once again, man, All Out, I think, is going to be a record. They're going to make history with their buys at All Out. I 100% believe that.
And I guess kind of to go back to the Booker T thing, it's like he didn't really offer much of what he would have done in that scenario. Because it's like, what do you talk about when you've been gone for 7 years and you're coming back, but you're coming back to an entirely different company? So like you know, you don't have a feud going necessarily. I mean, even in that time during that promo, he did set up the match with Darby Allin. So even that, he kind of fulfilled his obligations from the wrestling aspect of it. But it's like, what do you do? How do you do that? Because after a while, like if he like he said, he could have had a party. Like if he just keeps going with, well, now I'm back and I was gone, but now I'm back but I'm back still. Like after a while, they'd be like, okay, do you have anything else to say? Like, are you gonna get to a point here? If you just keep milking the fact that I'm back, it's like after a while, it's gonna be a law of diminishing returns, I think. But I think even like you were saying, even this week kind of stood out a little bit more even than last week. Or last Friday, because you expect the fact that they're in Chicago, you expect the fact that he's going to get a pop, or he's going to get a big pop. And that was one of the bigger pops that like ever. But the fact that they were in Wisconsin, they were in Milwaukee, and he is somebody who is very proudly a Chicagoan and is very much into the whole Chicago sports scene. The fact that they were still just very much in his favor and chanting his name almost as loud as they were in his hometown is equally impressive.
But they also said he does have some ties to Milwaukee. If you saw when he was out there and he was on the ropes and suddenly he looked down and saw some guys front row and he said, holy shit, those were all the guys from his training camp for MMA.
Right, yeah, they did say that in commentary that he trained there for MMA.
Right, exactly. So he does have some ties there, and I'm trust me, I'm not saying that he's not going to get a pop if he was in fucking Alabama.
Sure.
He would still get a fucking pop. It wouldn't matter where he was. So, but man, it's just it's really amazing to have CM Punk back, and it's just amazing what he's doing right now, and and I'll tell you what, they're all being really nice to the that guy that was crying.
Yes. Well, before we get to him real quick, though, I don't know if we would plan to talk about this or not, but even kind of added a little bit of extra foreshadowing to a potential return. Another return, because there was some yes chance, and he said, well, that's not my stick, but you might just got to wait a little while longer. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yep, that was part of my notes for AEW. So,
which I wonder, like, how it's got to feel to sort of I know he's not really an ego guy. He's a very modest person based on all accounts. But if you're Bryan Danielson, it's like, this is a big deal that you're going to be there too. Oh. Like, not only are you like a really good wrestler, not only are you really over, but you're also, he can benefit them in the fact that we've talked about before. He was getting in on the creative side of it before he left with WWE, and like the ideas that were attributed to him, we both put him over as being really good ideas. So it seems like he has a good head on his shoulder for just the creative side of that too, which they could benefit from. But like, it's a big deal that he's going there, but it like kind of became kind of put on the back burner. And I guess now that the Punk thing has happened, it's going to more people are going to be locked in on that. But just the idea that the rumors were coming out at the same time that they're both going to come, but like everybody was talking about Punk and everybody was wondering if Punk was coming. But then like the Daniel Bryanson thing was just sort of like almost a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I wonder how it's got to feel for him, where it's like, I'm fucking important too, guys. Come on.
Yeah, don't worry. He'll be the next one talked about when he shows up, man. That crowd will go fucking ape shit for him too.
Oh, I'm sure.
I got no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. So, yeah, I mean, that's really, Smark, you've got a couple of stories. And I'm sorry we didn't jump into yours, but I kind of try to tie all mine into what we were talking about. Hit one.
I feel like this one is the most appropriate since we're talking about contracts and potentially alleged rumors. Like, I kind of feel bad for this guy because, mind you, right now we're talking about so many different people are at play right now because we're talking about Punk just debuted. They're teasing the Brian Danielson thing. And I don't know what I did there. The Adam Cole thing, Bray Wyatt's being rumored to come there soon too. So, mind you that there's a kind of an unfortunate time for other contracts to be coming up, but it says here, Fightful, WWE offered Pete Dunne a new contract. Mm-hmm. So during SummerSlam weekend in Las Vegas, Fightful was informed that WWE had indeed offered Pete Dunne a contract extension recently. The length of the offered extension has not been confirmed and varied based on who we spoke to. Great reporting there. But the offer was confirmed by an anonymous WWE rep. It is interesting, but I kind of feel bad for him because, like, nobody gives a shit right now. I mean, it's a thing, but like, just, we were talking about before, or just certain other people, everybody that got fired from NXT a couple weeks ago, there's so many names being out there. It's just right now is a hard time to have, find your footing or whatever, but I feel a little bit bad for him because there's just so many big name people right now. And he's like, my name's also out there. I could also be going to AEW. And he's like, yeah, nobody gives a shit though.
Yeah, and really, I really couldn't give two shits about Pete Dunne either way.
And he's the only person who I feel like should take the contract. Because, I wonder, is he really going to be treated that much better in AEW versus, or anywhere else, New Japan, Impact, wherever you want to, than what he's getting right now?
I mean,
because they seem to really like him. He's not a bad wrestler. He's a good wrestler, but promo's not so great, but he's a talented wrestler. But it just seems like I don't think he can get that much more for himself than what he's already getting.
Yeah, and you got to remember, you can say he can work here, he can work there, but you also got to remember he's not from here, and he would need to get a visa to do so.
Yeah, this is very true.
So maybe he wants to go back and work NXT UK.
Perhaps.
We don't know what's going on.
I just mean in general, staying with WWE, regardless of what that looks like.
Right. Which, NXT UK would still be with WWE, and hell, I would love if they switched him with Walter.
Right.
That'd be a great little trade there. Goddamn, call the embassy and see if we can get these guys visas switched out. Smark, who do you know in the embassy?
Just Prince Nana, Jimmy Rave.
I don't think
there was a Ring of Honor stable called the Embassy.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a deep cut, but
I do remember. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. All right, let me work on that. All right, let's go ahead and move on real quick.
Quick aside, real quick. Christopher Kane says, I would be impressed if AEW signs Velveteen Dream.
No.
I don't see that happening either, but I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's I feel like somebody has to pull that trigger. Who's it going to be? Because, I understand not wanting to sign him because of the controversy. It is what it is, regardless if you think he did it, if he didn't do it, whatever. It's still a controversy. He's still a polarizing figure, regardless of if he's innocent or not. But at the same time, dude's still very young. Dude's still very talented. So, maybe somewhere like Mexico or Japan or somewhere, somebody would be getting a good deal for this man.
Absolutely, I agree. He's very talented. He's very good, he got a lot of charisma. He's very good on the microphone. But here's the thing. This guy couldn't go and post a fucking post on Twitter without being called a pedophile. So he also got booked on a show. The guy literally got harassed by people on Twitter calling this guy a pedophile. Why you're hiring him? Don't do that. So he canceled it. Anywhere this guy goes, the Twitter assholes are going to jump all over it. It doesn't matter. The only way you're going to be able to book this guy is to shut your fucking mouth and not fucking advertise it, which is no good, which is no good for your show.
Yeah, I guess there's a point there. Do you think, though, just real quick, this last little thing, I guess we'll talk about it in regards to that. Do you think that at some point that would die down, though? Because, like, I know it's two different charges in a sense, but, like, the only thing I can really compare it to is, like, when Louis C.K. came back to doing comedy. Like, the first couple shows, people were up in arms about it. Like, how dare this guy fucking pop his head out again? Like, we're done with him. We exiled him. But then after a while, he just kept doing shows, and now it's not a thing anymore.
This is different. Wrestling fans are fucking horrible. They're not going to stop. I'm sorry, dude. It's not going to stop. Really, that's just the way it goes. People love to go to comedy shows, and you know, they actually, those people have a sense of humor. People that go to wrestling shows don't, and it's just not going to be. No, I don't think they're going to quit. I think anywhere he goes, they're going to just literally beat the hell out of the person on Twitter until they either say, fuck it, I'll take the heat, and then there's going to be a boycott. So you're really, dude, talk about a catch-22. You're fucked either way.
Yeah.
And again, if you bring him in and don't advertise him and just bring him in as a surprise, well, that's not good for your company either. He's like you said, he would be a good guy. He's a very, very talented guy and all that shit we just said. But no.
So you think he's just done?
I would say for a few, I mean, look, you give it maybe 2-3 years, possibly they'll let it die, but I don't know. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro, you got fucking people being canceled for 12, 15, 20-year-old or 12, 15-year-old tweets.
Mm-hmm.
I might have just overaged Twitter there, but whatever. Anyway.
Shit, I got on there like 2007 or so it's been out for a minute.
All right.
It was probably out about 2006, 2005, somewhere around there. So You're not too far off if you are wrong.
Yeah, I'm just saying, throwing shit out there. So, yeah, I mean, look, I do feel bad for the guy, but and I don't think he did what they said, which is even worse. I think he's innocent of it.
Right. Well, I think even just besides that, even if regardless of whether you think he's innocent or not, there is really no concrete proof being put out there that he was guilty or that he was innocent. So the people that think he's innocent are going to keep thinking he's innocent. People that think he's guilty are going to keep, like you said, following this to the ends of the earth and complaining about it and calling him a pedophile. So forth.
Evidence. Oh,
Right.
That's hilarious. Twitter doesn't need evidence, dude. They need an accusation. They need an accusation. That's all they need. That's all they need is an accusation, and that's all it takes. And that's all it took. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
All right, Smart. You got a couple more there?
Well, let me throw this one out here real quick. This is not really too much to spend a lot of time on, but GCW put this out here. From one hometown return to another, announced for their September 2nd show in Detroit. This is important. Rhino is going to be making his GCW debut.
All right.
This is pretty cool. There's a bunch of matches that they already announced. Nick Gage, Gregory Iron, Alex Colon, Ricky Shane Page. This is a couple of matches that they got set up here. It looks like it's going to be a pretty cool show. They've been doing a lot of shows recently.
Yeah, I haven't seen any, but Nick Gage, Greg Iron could go be a little weird.
Yeah.
Alex Colon, Ricky Shane Page will be good. That will be good.
I will say about this as a real quick aside. I watched the one they did a show in Vegas Friday night. It was 10:30, so it's like they kind of bad day to do a show, bad time to do a show compared to everything else that was going on. But real quick, we had talked about Matt Cardona was their champion now. He came out, he opened the show. He came out wearing the belt, and he had on a black shirt, black jeans, and a black bandana. He had a black do-rag on, a la Vince McMahon in ECW. And it was the most amazing. He even had the fingerless gloves. Like, it was the most amazing troll job. It was great. It was wonderful.
That guy is such an old school fan. It's fucking awesome, man. The little references he does. And there was a picture out today of Chelsea Green with a GCW belt on. God,
I saw this photo. I will go ahead and post that in the Mixler. It's very sort of Attitude Era reminiscent, I think.
Jeez. Anyway, get to that last little news story, Smark, and I'm debating on whether to take a very quick pee break or not after that.
Okay, so from a lighthearted news story to a less lighthearted news story. Long story short here, Pat McAfee, or McAfee, however you want to call him. I think I'm starting to do it your way now. Pat McAfee. Anyways, he tested positive for COVID. He put this out on his Twitter. I'm going to assume that his Twitter is a reliable source for information regarding him. Quote, fully vaxxed, very positive. It's miserable, but thankful that my wife and the boys at the office all took tests and they're all negative. This is obviously a sign from the universe, probably telling me that I stink and to stay home for a while. See us.
Yeah. Definitely go out there and get vaccinated.
Well, I guess there's another part of that, but that does suck, though.
Anyway,
because he's a good fucking commentator.
It really is. But the good thing is, he's in shape. He's healthy. He's been vaccinated, which means he'll be fine, but he can still spread the disease,
Right.
The virus, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he was doing a show today, and I guess then there's a post on his Twitter that he posted a photo of the thermometer, but he was saying that he kept going back and forth between like 102 and 104.
Oh.
So he kept calling into his show, but of course he couldn't do his show, so he was guest host. But he was saying he kept calling in, basically saying that his temperature just kept going back and forth between 102, 104, and that he just, understandably so, felt like shit. But so hopefully things get better for him, just in general, because he's just a person, and you don't want to see people who aren't total pieces of shit die. So just hopefully, as far as that goes, I hope he gets better. But then also the fact that he is a really good commentator, he's going to be sorely missed.
Yeah, but like I said, he'll probably take a couple weeks off, but he's in good shape. He takes care of himself. He eats right. I think he's going to be just fine. He's going to be like Drew, come back in 2 weeks. I've got no doubt about that. The guys that are taking care of themselves are definitely not dying, Smart. So we should be all right. Positive thoughts, Smart.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Yeah, I see in this picture you have, his temperature is 104.5. Wow. All right. So yeah, he'll be back. I'm not worried. I am optimistic. Glass is half full on this one.
There you go.
I just want to know who the fuck took a drink out of my glass.
Sorry about that.
It was full when I left it. That's all I know.
Well, I saw white liquid, and I didn't realize that was water. Had I known, I would have not gotten into it.
Maybe now I should go take a pee real quick. Yeah, let's do that real fast.
And in the meantime, if you're in the Mixler chat, I went ahead and posted that Chelsea Green photo, so you go ahead and enjoy that.
Good job. Good job. I'm talking like this will be like 3 minutes at the most. I'm going to go right over there. I'm going to pee. I'm going to come right back. Smark, are you going to pee too?
Sure, we'll do it together.
Well, ooh.
They're called powder our noses. I mean, not together succinctly. There will be no crossing of swords or streams, but...
No, that could be bad, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So give us just a couple of minutes here. Be right back. And here we go. In the meantime, we will play a little bit of, let's see, what can we play? Oh, a little bit of Val Venus. Here you go. Enjoy the crazy man. We'll see y'all in a few minutes. All right. See, that was quick. Extremely quick. There we go. All right, everybody. Appreciate everybody. let me do that. What can I say? I sweat all day. I drink a lot of water. I drink liquid IV during the day so I can keep double hydrated. And I'm now drinking seltzer water. So I had to go.
Do you drink the liquid? Do you do the liquid IVs when you haven't been drinking? Interesting.
At my job, yeah, dude, it's fucking hot as hell here in Texas, and it's humid as fuck right now here for some reason. You can't be out there for 5 minutes without breaking sweat.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens.
Ridiculous. So hopefully there's not much longer of that shit, but it's horrible right now. So yeah, man, I do drink one of those without being hungover, just to keep hydrated during the day, man, because sometimes I don't forget to drink water, but if you get too busy, you just can't drink water, especially the giant goddamn cup my wife got me. She's got to stay in my office. But, all right, let's real quick, Smark. We already talked a decent amount about AEW anyway. So let's just get into the quick little Dynamite, kind of touch on a few things here. Started out with the Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy. I think this was the funnest match of the night, dude. I had fun watching this match, man. Just them going back and forth with the delete, the little tap kicks that Orange Cassidy does. Orange Cassidy stealing the money. I thought it was a great a fun little match to watch.
Right, I agree with that. I like the fact that after the match, Orange Cassidy had won, and Bryce Remsburg gives him his sunglasses.
Yeah.
He just puts the sunglasses on him. In lieu of raising his hand, he just puts sunglasses back on him.
Well, you have to do that. No, I mean, Hardy was busted the fuck open, but yeah, Cassidy did win here. Definitely.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you see what happened? Because all I saw was the blood. I didn't see what ended up getting him.
All I saw was the blood, and it looked like it was from his nose.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
It did not look like it was coming from his forehead, but it looked like it eventually moved up to there. But it looked like it was coming out of his nose. I don't know if Cassidy accidentally hit him with a kick. It didn't look like he bladed to me.
Yeah.
Nah,
it seemed legit.
Yeah, you're not going to blade your nose. I would hope not. But yeah, definitely a really fun little beginning match to watch, I thought. I was thoroughly enjoying watching that match. Jericho came out, talked about his future. I think we all knew this was coming after he lost that last match. Jericho says he has to beat MJF, otherwise he's just going to keep attacking MJF. He doesn't give a shit, he said, Smark. We got a lot of shits on this show.
We did.
There was a lot of shit on this show, man. It really was. He says he wants one more match. If he can't beat MJF, maybe he doesn't deserve to be in AEW anymore. He'll just sit out there and commentate, basically what he said. Never wrestle in AEW again. There's a key word there. Never wrestle in AEW again. So MJF comes out. I love the shirt. It said MJF 3, Jerablo 0. Great shirt. You know that's for sale. Definitely for sale. And he accepts and he warns Jericho, hey, beaten you 3 times already, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like I said, I think we expected this to go where it was going, but again, they put these stipulations on these matches, and it's not worth it. It's not what we need to be doing. It's not worth. Why would Jericho just commentate? Explain.
He's getting older. He's got other interests. His body's probably been through a lot of shit. I mean, I could see it happening. Plus, I mean, the thing is like, at least so far with AEW, they've lived up to their stipulations. I understand, like most companies, they put out stipulations. It's like, oh, loser leaves town, and then they're back like 2 weeks or a couple months later or whatever. But so far, they've actually held firm with some of their stipulations. Like, we haven't seen Cody challenge for the world title yet. So some of their they actually keep to their word, at least so far, anyway.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening right now. I just don't. I see Jericho winning this match, which would make sense. Jericho needs to win at least one. It's just amazing that Jericho would need comeuppance. I don't know. Would you let MJF just...
Well, see, that's a whole different question, because I also think he's going to win, but the idea of does he need to, should they do another match, should they have just ended it where it is? That's a good question in and of itself.
I guess the fact that got me questioning is a good thing. So,
right.
Let's see. We had the Varsity Blondes was with Julia Hart versus the Lucha Brothers. I like that match. I like Penta with the Joker colors and face paint on. That was pretty cool.
I guess that's his big match gear now, because he wore that at the Battle Royal. He wore that at Triple Mania, and now he's wearing it in the tournament. So all the big matches.
Yeah. Well, I guess this was a big match. I mean, the Young Bucks came out, so it had to be a big match.
Well, it's a title tournament eliminator, so if they win on Friday, they get a title shot at the pay-per-view, so that's something, I guess.
Well, and the Lucha Brothers did win, but I got to tell you, Pillman Jr. is just such a fucking throwback. I like watching that guy so much, man.
Not that it's anything new, but I just continue to enjoy Pentagon's insistence of he's got to do his taunt come hell or high water.
Oh, yeah.
Because he tried to do it once, and then Pillman shoved him, so he did it again, and then Pillman hit him, but then Pentagon got him down, so that while he was down, he did it in his face while he was laying prone. I just love how it's that's his thing, and he just has to do it no matter what. He will just he's fucking like a robot. He's programmed to do it.
Absolutely.
So no matter what, the next time he gets on offense, even if you cheap shot him, he will do the fucking taunt.
Yes, he will. 100%.
There was a clip from Dark, I think, of yesterday where he threw his glove to Alex, and Alex dropped it. So he made Alex throw him the glove again, and he caught it, and then he threw it back to him, and Alex actually caught it this time. So he was just gonna keep doing it until the guy caught the fucking glove. It makes me laugh how he just refuses to let there be a botch.
Jesus. And Julia Hart, that little cheerleader outfit, just
you gotta be careful. You still haven't heard from Max Caster. You'll get canceled for this.
Just she's really pretty. She's a very pretty girl. Let's just leave it at that.
She is
very, very pretty.
Which, by the by, I want to talk about this because I don't think we talked about it last week, and I actually think that Max Caster should come back with this guy because it'll be fucking heat just to the 10th degree. But this Dan Lambert, these promos have been fucking incredible.
Dude, Dan Lambert kills it every time he's out there. And tonight was even better. I love the fact that he was just basically making fun of AEW's millennial fan base.
He even, I couldn't believe it. This slide popped me because he was saying the normal BuzzFeed type words. And I mean, he does a great job with the promos, but he was talking about, he name dropped TikTok and all of this kind of stuff. But he even made fun of the crying CM Punk fan because he said that he was how sensitive society is nowadays that people cry over wrestlers doing their job. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is fucking incredible. This guy is a heat-seeking missile.
I loved it. I loved everything about what he was doing tonight, man, and what he's been doing. I'm telling you, man, right now, this is the show to be watching as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we need to get through this pretty fucking quick here. We're at, oh my God, what are we at? Oh, God.
We're coming up on it. There's not that much more to talk about.
No, there's really
because honestly, the show dipped after the middle portion, I would say.
It really kind of did. I mean, we've already talked about the CM Punk thing, so we're not going to even mention that again. Jamie Hayter, that was kind of just, that really was just a clusterfuck, to be honest with you. That whole Jamie Hayter with versus Red Velvet, that it was just kind of a clusterfuck. We don't really need to get into that. It wasn't a bad match. Chris Statlander came down and saved Red Velvet when everybody attacked her. But anyway, Alex Reynolds basically left the Dark Order tonight, which I don't know if they're breaking up Dark Order or just breaking a couple of guys away and moving more in. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're going to start doing those recruiting promos again. Who knows?
Right. I mean, they need kind of something because them as a group have sort of just been a compliment to Adam Page, but they haven't had a lot going on of their own.
Yeah, with Page gone at this point, it's like, what the fuck? I don't even know what to do at this point. I got to tell you, this was kind of a weird match for me. This Kingston, Moxley, and Darby Allin versus the Wingmen. You gotta. Moxley's already going for that dad bod. He's like, "Fuck it, I got a kid. I don't care anymore." I love it. I fucking love it, man. Darby did end up winning the match. Daniel Garcia ran in to attack Darby. Of course, Sting and the whole crew ran him off. But you got Kingston, Moxley, Darby Allin, 3 powerful players for AEW against who the fuck were these guys? I mean, I know one of them was Ziggler's brother.
Yeah, he's sort of he's the biggest name on that team too, honestly.
Yeah, and who? Who the fuck else?
JD Drake, or actually, what I believe is Roadkill from ECW now. He's working with them. Because you had mentioned suspenders before. He was wrestling in a shirt and suspenders doing the full-on Roadkill look. And I was like, this is not a good look for a wrestler.
I forgot about that. Forgot about him. But I don't know, man. It was just very odd placement, odd match, odd
they seem to be
run-in.
more interested now, or not more interested, but they seem to be getting sort of a new interest in doing trios. Because I guess they might be doing like a trios belt soon, too. And I noticed that somebody had posted online CM Punk's like roster graphic, and they have singles match record, tag team match record, and trios record. So it seems like they're going to be emphasizing trios matches more now.
No, I guess we'll see. And it seems like they have been doing that for a while, and they've been teasing that they're going to do the trios titles. So I guess we'll see what happens. This Kenny Omega came out with Callis and Cutler and Nakazawa out to talk to Tony Schiavone. The Christian comes out. It was just a bunch of shit talk with a brawl because Ariel came out to save Christian. Really, anything else I'm missing there?
No.
Okay.
Big signing there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, listen.
They finally made right by having actual big signings, but I mean, he's just so underwhelming.
I know. We got Moxley. He's announcing his match with Satoshi Kojima. Thank you, Smark. So, it's kind of cool they're doing this and mixing up these, New Japan guys with these guys. I'm liking all this stuff right here. But
it's going to be an all right match, but as somebody who follows New Japan, it's kind of an underwhelming thing because he's sort of just one of those older guys that kind of just works with young guys now, which is what happens in Japan when you reach a certain age. You just wrestle a lot of matches with lower card guys or young Lions guys, and that's kind of where he's at right now. And Yuji Nagata also kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of rumors over who he was going to face and who he actually did end up facing. By comparison, kind of but it'll probably still be a good match. Real quick, another one that's interesting. I don't know what he did to trigger this feud, but for whatever reason, and I'm excited for it because I think they're going to have a good feud and they're going to have some good matches. There's been a lot of talk of Miro versus Kingston.
Yeah, well, Miro did a promo tonight on Kingston, so I definitely would love to see some of that shit right there.
They called him out last week, and now he did a full promo about him. But I don't. They didn't really say unless they're going to tell us later on. But what happened to lead to Miro just wanting to kill him for no apparent reason?
I'm sure we'll find out. I am sure we will. So, anyway, we had the Gun Club, Paul White on commentary because he's going up against QT Marshall. I thought it was hilarious tonight. QT Marshall does this kip up. And the crowd, I swear to God, I heard a guy drop his nachos in row 6. I heard the nachos fall in row 6 when he did it.
Yeah, I was watching this match and I was just looking at everybody. And I was like, do they really need anybody that's in the ring right now?
No, not really.
I understand if this was early on where they just needed some bodies, but it's your roster is fucking huge and you're bringing in more and more big name talent. I wouldn't really be all that sad if you axed all 6 of these guys. Maybe if you kept Billy Gunn on for something, just as a trainer or whatever. But other than that,
yeah. This was a waste of a fucking match. I mean, QT points at Paul White. He gets rolled up, loses the match. Who gives a fuck at this point?
I honestly can't believe that the fucking in 2021 that Big Show versus fucking QT Marshall is going to be on a pay-per-view.
I don't want to believe it, and luckily I won't be home that night. I'll be at my my parents' house for a little, what is it, Labor Day? Is that what it is? A little Labor Day thing, so I'll be there. Main event, and the last thing we're talking about, and that's it, we're out of here. Brock Anderson versus Malachi Black. This was a quick match, so we shouldn't even spend much time on it, with Malachi winning. After the match, basically Arn goes in, tries to help out his son. Black goes out, he grabs this chair. Arn tries to protect his son and gets a black mass. Both Andersons are just laid the fuck out in the ring as we go off the air, really. But someone did come out after that, didn't they?
Yeah, Shotty Lee.
Yes, no, Lee Johnson.
Yeah, that's his nickname.
Right. Lee Johnson.
Shotty Lee, same thing.
Came out, and I don't know about you, but I got a laugh out of that.
Well, at first I didn't know who it was because I couldn't identify the theme music, and then he came out, and I was like, all right. But what made me laugh, first off, what makes me laugh is, how does Arn Anderson's son look older than Arn Anderson? I don't understand that part of it. But also, Arn said a swear, because we were talking about they use the S word a lot. Arn told Black to put down your fucking chair, which made me laugh, because it's like just old. I just laughed. It's like, all right, like, won't you fight me like a real man? I'll kick your fucking ass, boy. So that made me laugh. Another thing that made me laugh is, I don't blame him, because dude is, he's not a wrestler anymore, so you don't want to be too rough with him. But like, he clearly like kicked him in the chest. Like, he aimed as low, as far away from his head as humanly possible, and then Jim Ross happened to be like, he almost took his head off. Like, how so? He kicked him square in the chest.
That's Jim Ross. Stop it.
Oh, no, I'm not going to shit on Jim Ross. I said that he had to sell it, but it just made me laugh, because he had to do what he had to do. I'm all for salty Jim Ross. I love the man.
yeah.
I will continue to love the man.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, all right, man. I think that's all we got for tonight. I'll tell you what, guys. We've been through 5 shows and a bunch of news. I got to tell you, I'm too fucking tired to do fucking plugs tonight, man. I got to tell you the truth, Mark.
It bees that way sometimes. It's like it's the beginning.
Yeah, we did. We got them done at the beginning. But as usual, I do want to thank everybody who showed up tonight in the chat. 100% appreciated. Of course, anyone who's going to download this show, are greatly appreciated. Also, I'm drinking seltzer water here. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Smark, thank you very much. And don't forget, Smark, our last Friday show is coming up this Friday. Be doing Hollywood Hangout after that, me and you coming back to do Draft Day. And like I said, I've got a few shows already lined up. I'll talk about our next show, the next show I'm planning on doing after September 3rd. I'll talk about it that night. And make a few more announcements on that night. Not for new shows, but for the Hollywood Hangout. I got a little idea of a few things to do. So, all right, there you go. And on that note, Smark, I will talk to you Friday night, my man. And everybody else, enjoy back Friday night as usual. See ya.
Adios.
Yeah!